Hello guys, welcome to Saiyan What Ifs. So in this video, we will see, what if Goku unlocked Angel Key early? If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1. Celestial Awakening. The gravity pressed against Goku's shoulders like an invisible mountain, each step requiring twice the effort of the last. King Kai's small planet, barely larger than a mansion's grounds, curved sharply beneath his feet, the artificial horizon close enough to touch. Sweat crystallized in the strange atmosphere, evaporating into prismatic mist that lingered around his tensed form. 40 days had passed since Snake Way had delivered him to this peculiar cosmic outpost, and still, the Saiyan pushed himself beyond reasonable limits. Again, Goku whispered to himself, his breath forming small clouds in the supernatural cold that permeated this realm. Not enough. He launched into his 10,000th kata of the day, muscles screaming in protest. The looming fray, out of the Saiyans approaching Earth consumed his thoughts. 6 months. That's all the time his friends had before Raditz's comrades arrived. 6 months to transcend his own limitations. King Kai observed from beneath his shade tree, antenna twitching with concern. Slow down, Goku. Your body needs rest. Even Saiyans have limits. But Goku had stopped listening to such cautions days ago. The weight, clothing King Kai had provided, already 10 times heavier than what Master Roshi had given him, felt increasingly insufficient. As his fist cut through the dense air, something unusual happened. Time seemed to hiccup, a momentary stutter in reality's flow. His punch, intended for an imaginary opponent, connected with nothing but caused a ripple of energy to distort the space before him. King Kai's antennae shot straight up. Stop, Goku. Stop right now. The blue deity's panicked tone finally penetrated Goku's focus. He froze mid-movement, one leg suspended in a chambered kick. What's wrong? King Kai approached cautiously, circling the Saiyan with uncharacteristic seriousness. How are you doing that? Doing what? Goku lowered his leg, genuinely confused. Your ki, it's changing. King Kai's voice trembled slightly. It's resonating at a frequency that shouldn't be possible for mortals. Goku looked down at his hands, seeing nothing unusual. I don't understand. Neither do I, and that's what terrifies me. King Kai extended one stubby blue finger toward Goku's chest. Your normal ki is like a flame, warm, yellow-orange, powerful but familiar. But now there's something else, something blue-white, cold like starlight, pulsing beneath it. The Saiyan concentrated, turning his awareness inward. Beyond the familiar wellspring of energy he'd cultivated since childhood, he sensed something new, a vast, still pool of power, impossibly deep and pristine. Unlike his normal ki, which required effort to harness, this energy seemed to exist in perfect equilibrium, neither depleting nor requiring replenishment. I feel it, Goku whispered. It's like a different kind of strength altogether. King Kai's next words emerged as barely audible. Angel Key. Angel what? This is impossible. The deity paced in tight circles, muttering frantically. Only attendants to the gods of destruction possess this energy. No mortal has ever. He stopped abruptly, eyes widening behind dark glasses. Unless, a sudden tremor shook the tiny planet. The gravity fluctuated wildly, one moment crushing, the next nearly absent. The sky above, normally a pleasant lavender, fractured into prismatic shards revealing the true cosmos beyond, infinite blackness punctuated by stars of impossible brilliance. What's happening? Goku's voice sounded strange even to himself, each syllable trailing a faint echo. You've torn something. King Kai grabbed Goku's GI with unexpected strength. Your unintentional access to Angel Key is creating a dimensional disturbance. This realm exists at a specific cosmic frequency. Your new energy signature is disrupting it. Another tremor, more violent than the first. Bubbles, King Kai's pet monkey, screeched in terror and clung to a bending tree. Gregory the grasshopper buzzed frantically around them, his usual smugness replaced by panic. How do I stop it? Goku asked, his voice resonating at multiple pitches simultaneously. You can't. It's too late. King Kai released his grip, stepping back with resignation. They're already coming. Who's coming? The answer came not from King Kai but from reality itself as it split open above them. The tear in space resembled neither the mechanical precision of a spaceship's entrance nor the magical circumference of a portal. Rather, it was as if existence itself had suddenly remembered an appointment elsewhere and decided to create a shortcut. Through this impossible opening emerged a figure that caused Goku's newly awakened senses to reel. She descended with impossible grace, movement precisely calculated yet appearing effortlessly fluid. Tall and lithe, her skin possessed a pale lavender hue that seemed to reflect light from within. White hair cascaded to her shoulders, moving gently despite the absence of wind. Her attire, a formal robe of celestial design with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and rearrange themselves when viewed directly, marked her as someone of profound significance. Most striking were her eyes, pools of liquid silver that reflected not just light but something more fundamental, as if they mirrored the very structure of reality itself. Quote, "Unauthorized access to celestial energy detected," she announced, her voice neither loud nor soft but perfectly calibrated to reach its intended recipient regardless of distance. Identification: Third-class Saiyan. Designation: Goku, or Kakarot, currently deceased, soul in transition. Status: Anomaly. King Kai immediately prostrated himself, forehead pressing against the grass. Lady Araya of the 7th Choir. I assure you, this was entirely unintentional. I was merely training him in standard. Silence. North Kai. Though her expression remained unchanged, the weight of her authority pressed against them like a physical force. Your failure to recognize the awakening of angel ki within your student has been noted. Goku, unaccustomed to the politics of celestial beings, responded with characteristic directness. Hey there, I'm Goku. He extended his hand in greeting. Sorry about whatever I broke. Still figuring this new power out. King Kai made a strangled sound of horror at this casual address. But the celestial being called Araya merely tilted her head slightly, studying Goku with analytical precision. Curious, she observed after several seconds of uncomfortable scrutiny. Your spiritual composition should not allow for angel ki resonance. Yet here you are, channeling it without training or authorization. She circled him slowly, each step leaving momentary afterimages in the air. Explanation required. Quote, Goku shrugged, unintimidated. I was just training really hard, pushing past my limits. Then I felt something different. Like finding a hidden door in a familiar room. Metaphor noted. Inadequate but illustrative of mortal comprehension limitations. Araya extended one slender finger toward Goku's chest, not quite touching. Permission to examine your key pathways. Before Goku could respond, another dimensional tear formed. This one rough-edged and unstable, spitting sparks of crimson energy. Through this jagged opening tumbled a very different figure. Where Araya embodied celestial precision, this newcomer radiated barely contained power. A woman with bronzed skin and wild black hair that defied gravity almost as dramatically as Goku's own. Her armor, similar to Raditz's but more advanced, with shoulder guards bearing unfamiliar insignia, bore scorch marks and battle damage. A tail, unmistakably Saiyan, wrapped tightly around her waist. She landed in a combat-ready crouch, obsidian eyes immediately assessing threats and exits. Blood trickled from a cut above her left eyebrow, and her breathing came in controlled but labored patterns. Someone who had recently exited intense combat. Dimensional coordinates match, she growled, ignoring both King Kai and Araya to focus entirely on Goku. You're the one causing the resonance cascade across universe boundaries. Araya's posture shifted subtly. Saiyan female, Universe 6 variation. Designation unknown. You have crossed universal boundaries without authorization. The Saiyan woman spat on the grass. Save your bureaucratic nonsense for someone who cares, Celestial. When reality starts fracturing around you, authorization becomes irrelevant. Her gaze returned to Goku, narrowing with suspicion. So you're the Universe 7 Saiyan emitting the power signature. Smaller than I expected. Another Saiyan. Goku's face lit with excitement, previous concerns momentarily forgotten. And from another universe. That's amazing. I'm Goku. Solera, elite scout of the Sadala Defense Force, she responded automatically, then frowned at her own compliance. And you're dangerous. Your energy sig. Nature is causing catastrophic boundary failures between universal partitions. King Kai, still prostrate but unable to remain silent, squeaked, "That's what I was trying to explain." He accidentally tapped into Angel Ki and Angel Ki. From him. Solera's eyes widened, reassessing Goku with newfound wariness. Impossible. He's clearly mortal, clearly Saiyan. Yet empirical evidence suggests otherwise, Uraya interjected, her silver eyes never leaving Goku. The resonance pattern is unmistakable, if flawed in execution. Goku, feeling increasingly like a specimen under examination, decided to take control of the situation. "Look, I don't fully understand what's happening either, but fighting about it won't help. King Kai was training me to face Saiyan invaders heading to Earth. If this new power can help protect my friends, I need to learn to control it." As he spoke, the strange energy within him responded, rippling visibly across his skin in patterns of subtle blue-white light. The sensation was unlike anything he'd experienced, not the raw, emotional surge of his normal power-ups, but a state of perfect clarity, as if the universe itself had suddenly come into sharper focus. Uraya's expression remained unchanged, but something in her silver eyes shifted. Intriguing prioritization, planetary defense rather than power acquisition. She extended her hand, palm up. "A demonstration is required for proper assessment." Quote. Before Goku could respond, Solera interjected, "I have a more practical test in mind." Without warning, she launched herself at Goku, moving with speed that would have been invisible to normal perception. But to Goku's newly enhanced senses, her attack unfolded in strange detail, not slow motion exactly, but with a predictive clarity that allowed him to perk. Even not just her current position but the probable trajectories of her next several moves. Without conscious thought, he shifted slightly, allowing her punch to pass harmlessly by his ear. Solera's eyes widened in shock, not at missing, but at Goku's method of evasion. "You didn't dodge. You adjusted probability." "I what?" Goku blinked in confusion. Angel Ki allows perception and limited manipulation of causal outcomes. Uraya explained, watching with clinical interest. "He didn't dodge your attack, he subtly altered the conditions ensuring its failure." Solera launched another series of attacks, a complex combination of strikes that utilized Saiyan combat techniques Goku had never seen. Again, that strange clarity guided his responses. Rather than defending conventionally, he made minimal movements that resulted in maximum effect, each adjustment feeling less like combat and more like a correction to improper mathematics. After 30 seconds of failed attacks, Solera jumped back, breathing heavily. "That's not fighting. That's something else. It feels natural," Goku replied, surprised to find himself completely untaxed by the exchange. "Like the universe is suggesting the most efficient path." A crude but not inaccurate description, Uraya noted, approaching them both. Angel Ki functions through harmony with existence rather than resistance against it. Most mortals struggle for power. Angels simply align with it. King Kai, finally rising from his prostration, adjusted his sunglasses nervously. But what happens now? If Goku is generating effects across multiple universes, the situation requires elevation to proper authorities, Uraya declared. "I am merely an investigator of the seventh choir. This transcends my jurisdiction." "Meaning what, exactly?" Solera demanded, her tail uncoiling and lashing with agitation. "Meaning I must transport this anomaly to the celestial conclave for examination and ruling." Goku straightened, his characteristic determination surfacing. "I can't leave now. My friends on Earth need me in 6 months when the Saiyans arrive. They'll die without my help. Linear temporal concerns are irrelevant," Uraya stated flatly. "If returned to this timeline, you would arrive at precisely the required moment, regardless of subjective duration elsewhere." "You're talking about taking him to the realm of the angels," King Kai interjected, voice quavering. "No mortal has ever. Unprecedented situations require unprecedented measures," Uraya cut him off. "The alternative is continued dimensional instability and potential collapse of affected boundary regions." Solera crossed her arms. "Then I'm coming too." Uraya's silver eyes shifted to the Saiyan woman. "Explain your reasoning." "His power signature affected Universe 6. Severely enough that I was dispatched to investigate. I'm not returning without answers." Solera's stance communicated clearly that this wasn't a request. Besides, if he's really channeling Angel Ki, every power-hungry entity in the multiverse will soon be hunting him. You might appreciate additional security. The subtle shift in Araya's expression suggested this possibility hadn't occurred to her. Your assessment has merit. Additionally, having a biological comparable from Universe the 6th of May provide valuable comparative data. I'm not a research specimen, Solera growled. Neither am I, Goku added, though his tone held more curiosity than offense. But if this helps me understand what's happening and gets me back to Earth in time, I'm willing. King Kai wrung his hands. Goku, you don't understand. The Celestial Conclave isn't just another stop on your training journey. You'll be the first mortal to. North Kai, Araya interrupted, prepare your student for transition. We depart in 3 minutes. As King Kai frantically whispered last-minute advice about celestial etiquette, Goku found his attention drawn to both newcomers. Araya's perfect stillness contained something fascinating, like a deep mountain lake reflecting stars, beautiful but unfathomable. Solera's barely contained intensity felt more familiar, reminiscent of Vegeta from his brief mental connection with Raditz, yet distinctly her own. Time, Araya announced exactly 3 minutes later. She extended both hands, one toward Goku and one toward Solera. Physical contact required for transference. Goku took her offered hand without hesitation, noting how her skin felt neither warm nor cold but somehow both simultaneously. Solera hesitated fractionally longer before grasping the angel's other hand. Farewell, North Kai, Araya stated. Outcome notification will be provided through standard channels. Good luck, Goku, King Kai called out, genuine concern in his voice. Remember what I taught you about respect and. The rest of his words vanished as reality folded around them, not like instant transmission which Goku would later learn, but more like the universe itself decided to reorganize its fundamental architecture. For a breathless moment, Goku existed everywhere and nowhere, his consciousness stretched across impossible distances yet compressed to a single point. Then, solidity returned. Goku's first impression was light, not the harsh brightness of a sun, but the pure, primordial radiance that might have existed before stars themselves were born. They stood upon a surface that appeared crystalline but felt organic, pulsing subtly with rhythms suggesting sentience. The sky above contained no recognizable celestial bodies but rather patterns of energy flow that mapped the structure of reality itself. The Nexus antechamber, Araya announced, releasing their hands. Prepare yourselves for presentation. Solera recovered first, her warrior's discipline asserting itself despite the overwhelming surroundings. Presentation to whom? The Grand Priest. The Conclave Adjudicators, Araya corrected. The Grand Priest oversees matters directly concerning the gods of destruction and supreme Kais. This situation involves dimensional boundary integrity and unauthorized energy transference, different jurisdiction. Goku, still absorbing their surroundings, noticed something peculiar. The new energy within him, the Angel Ki, seemed to respond to this environment, resonating with the architecture itself. With each breath, his awareness expanded, allowing him to perceive layers of reality previously invisible. This place is alive, he whispered, watching energy patterns shift in response to his observation. Araya's silver eyes widened fractionally, the first genuine surprise she displayed. You perceive the cognitive substrate. Without training. Before Goku could respond, the crystalline floor beneath them pulsed with increased luminosity, and a pathway formed leading to war. A structure that defied conventional geometry. It resembled a temple composed of interlocking translucent cubes, each containing what appeared to be its own pocket universe. We proceed, Araya stated, moving forward with perfect grace. As they approached the impossible structure, Goku sensed multiple energy signatures unlike anything he'd encountered, not simply powerful, but fundamentally different. As if operating on principles entirely separate from mortal ki. Even the Angel Ki within him seemed primitive by comparison. The entryway adjusted its dimensions as they approached, accommodating their physical forms while simultaneously scanning their energy signatures. Inside, the chamber expanded beyond what should have been physically possible, revealing a circular arrangement of elevate D platforms where figures sat in judgment. 5 beings occupied these positions, each distinct yet sharing the unmistakable characteristics of angels. The pale blue skin, white hair, and staffs that seemed more symbolic than functional. Their robes, unlike Araya's, contained complex patterns that continuously shifted, displaying what appeared to be mathematical equations describing the fundamental laws of reality. "Investigator Araya," spoke the central figure, her voice somehow reaching them perfectly despite the vast distance. "You have brought mortals before the conclave. Explain." Araya bowed with precise formality. "Adjudicators, I present Anomaly Case 794 Alpha, unauthorized angel key manifestation in Immortal Saiyan from Universe 7, designation Goku, Kakarot, and associated dimension. AL boundary disruption affecting universes 6 through 9. The 5 adjudicators turned their attention to Goku, their collective scrutiny feeling like being simultaneously observed from every possible angle, not just physically but temporally, as if they were examining every moment of his existence simultaneously. "Approach, Anomaly," commanded the leftmost adjudicator, a severe-looking male with intricate rings circling his staff. Goku stepped forward, sensing Solera's tension beside him. Despite the overwhelming presence of these beings, his Saiyan nature, always excited by new challenges, kept fear at bay. "Hi there," he greeted them with characteristic informality. "I'm Goku." The collective intake of breath from the adjudicators suggested this wasn't the protocol-approved response. Solera muttered something that sounded like a curse, while Araya's perfect posture stiffened imperceptibly. After a moment of stunned silence, the central adjudicator spoke again. "The mortal addresses the conclave directly. Fascinating." Her tone contained not anger but genuine curiosity. Mortal called Goku, "Are you aware of what you have done?" "Not really," Goku admitted honestly. "I was just training really hard when I felt this new power." King Kai called it Angel Ki. A simplified designation but accurate in essence, the rightmost adjudicator noted. "The question remains, how did immortals saw Ian access the fundamental energy reserved for attendance to the gods?" Without waiting for permission, the 5 adjudicators extended their staffs simultaneously, beams of light connecting with Goku's chest. Rather than pain, he experienced a strange sensation of being gently unfolded, as if the layers of his being were being carefully examined one by one. "Impossible," whispered the second adjudicator. "Yet undeniable," countered the fourth. "His soul structure has begun harmonizing with celestial frequencies," observed the central figure. "Not artificially imposed but organically integrated." The examination continued for what felt like hours but might have been merely seconds. Time worked differently here. Finally, the staffs withdrew, and the 5 adjudicators conferred in a language T. Hat sounded like music rather than speech. Solera edged closer to Goku. "What did they do to you?" she whispered. "Looked inside me, I think," Goku replied. "It didn't hurt." "That's not reassuring." The conference concluded, and the central adjudicator addressed them once more. "Our examination reveals unprecedented circumstances. This mortal has not stolen or artificially accessed Angel Ki but has somehow evolved the capacity to generate it autonomously." Araya's perfect composure faltered. "That should be theoretically impossible." "Theory must adapt to evidence," the third adjudicator stated. "Our analysis indicates that his unique soul structure, having experienced death while retaining his physical body, created conditions where intensive key manipulation could breach the barrier between mortal and celestial energies." The fifth adjudicator, who had remained silent until now, added, "The implications extend beyond this individual case. If mortality and celestial nature are not fundamentally separate but points on a continuum, many cosmic laws require re-examination." "What happens to me now?" Goku asked directly. "I still need to save my friends on Earth." The central adjudicator considered him with an expression approaching compassion. "Mortal concerns remain your priority despite standing before the conclave. This, too, is noteworthy. The disruptions to dimensional boundaries must be addressed." The first adjudicator insisted. "Without proper training, his uncontrolled emanations will continue causing instability." "Agreed," the central figure nodded. "Therefore, this conclave rules as follows. The mortal Goku shall receive basic instruction in Angel Ki containment and utilization. Investigator Araya is hereby assigned as his primary instructor." Araya bowed deeply, though Goku detected a subtle shift in her aura suggesting surprise. "I am honored by the assignment, though I have never instructed a mortal." "Which is precisely why you are suitable," the fourth adjudicator explained. "Your lack of preconceptions regarding mortal limitations will prevent you from imposing unnecessary constraints on his development." Additionally, continued the central adjudicator, The Universe 6 Saiyan shall serve as combat application specialist, helping translate celestial principles into practical combat techniques compatible with Saiyan physiology. Solara straightened, clearly not having expected to be assigned a role. I accept the responsibility. The instruction period shall last 60 celestial moments, equivalent to approximately 6 weeks in mortal perception. Upon completion, the subject will be returned to his timeline at precisely the point required to fulfill his obligation to Earth's defense. Goku brightened at this news. So I'll still make it back in time to stop the Saiyans. Correct. However, the central adjudicator's tone grew serious. You must understand that your unique status creates consequences beyond your current comprehension. Possessing Angel Ki will draw attention from entities throughout the multiverse. Some will seek to study you, others to control you, still others to destroy you. I'm used to people wanting to fight me. Goku replied with his characteristic grin. It's usually pretty fun. The 5 adjudicators exchanged glances that somehow conveyed both concern and amusement. This one is either exceptionally brave or exceptionally foolish, observed the second adjudicator. Perhaps both are required for what lies ahead, the central figure replied cryptically. She raised her staff, creating a complex symbol in the air. Let the instruction commence. Conclave adjourned. Reality shifted once more, the impossible architecture of the chamber dissolving around them. When stability returned, Goku found himself in a different environment altogether, a vast training ground floating amid an endless sky of deepest indigo. Fractured landmasses hovered at various distances, each supporting different environmental mental conditions. One covered in blue flames, another in constantly shifting gravity wells, a third encased in temporal distortion fields. Araya stood before them, her formal demeanor subtly altered. Welcome to the Nexus training grounds, where angels have honed their abilities since time immemorial. For the next 60 celestial moments, this will be your home. Looks intense, Goku observed with undisguised excitement. When do we start? Immediately, Araya replied. Lesson 1. Understanding the fundamental difference between mortal ki and angel ki. She extended her hand, creating a perfect sphere of energy. Unlike the ki blasts Goku was familiar with, this contained no destructive intent. Instead, it appeared to be a perfect miniature cosmos, complete with galaxies and star systems. Mortal ki functions through exertion of will against the natural order, she explained. You gather energy, compress it, and release it to create effects. Fundamentally antagonistic to universal flow. Solara crossed her arms. It's worked well enough for us so far. At a cost of tremendous inefficiency and limitation, Araya countered without judgment. Angel Ki operates through harmony rather than opposition. Instead of forcing reality to conform to your will, you align your consciousness with existing patterns and suggest modifications. Goku tilted his head, studying the miniature cosmos in Araya's palm. Like asking the universe instead of telling it. A flicker of surprise crossed Araya's perfect features. A primitive analogy but conceptually accurate. Most mortals require extensive philosophical preparation before grasping this principle. Goku has always learned differently than others, Solara noted, studying him with growing interest. Even by Saiyan standards, his combat instincts are unusual. Then perhaps practical application will prove more effective than theoretical discussion, Araya decided. With a gesture, she transported them to one of the floating islands, this one featuring a forest of crystalline trees that chimed softly with cosmic harmonies. First, you must learn to distinguish between your conventional ki and the angel ki now integrated within your energy system. She instructed. Meditate and observe the distinct frequencies without attempting manipulation. As Goku settled into meditation, Solara approached Araya, keeping her voice low. You realize what this means, don't you? If he masters even basic angel ki techniques while retaining his Saiyan power progression, he will become something unprecedented in the cosmic hierarchy, Araya finished. Her silver eyes tracking subtle patterns in Goku's aura. The question remains whether this represents evolutionary advancement or dangerous aberration. And which are you hoping for, Angel? Solara asked shrewdly. Araya's perfect composure revealed nothing. Hope is irrelevant. I serve cosmic order through accurate observation and appropriate response. Right, Solara smirked. And I'm just here for the scientific insights. As they spoke, something remarkable happened. The angel ki within Goku, previously chaotic and uncontrolled, began organizing itself into coherent patterns. Responding to his meditative state, the crystalline trees around them resonated in harmony, their chiming tones adjusting to match his energy signature. Extraordinary, Aurea whispered. High's natural affinity exceeds all projected models. Solera's expression grew more serious. Which means every power-hungry deity and cosmic entity will sense him from across the multiverse once he returns home. A concerning but unavoidable consequence, Aurea acknowledged. Hence the importance of your combat instruction role. He must learn to defend himself against threats beyond conventional Saiyan experience. Over the following days, or what passed for days in this timeless realm, Goku's training proceeded at an astonishing pace. Mornings with Aurea focused on the fundamental principles of angel ki, perception, alignment, and subtle manipulation of cosmic forces. Rather than forcing reality to bend to his will, Goku learned to harmonize with existing patterns and suggest modifications that reality itself would implement. Afternoons with Solera translated these abstract principles into combat applications, combining Saiyan aggression with celestial precision. Her fighting style, more technical and disciplined than the wild berserker approach common to Universe 7 Saiyans, complemented his new abilities perfectly. Anticipate, don't react, Solera instructed during one particularly intense sparring session. Angel Ki lets you perceive probability paths before they manifest. Don't wait for my attack to begin, recognize the intent pattern and counter the probability. Goku, already a natural combat genius, adapted to these concepts with remarkable intuition. When Solera launched a complex attack sequence, he no longer needed to physically dodge each strike. Instead, he made minimal adjustments to position an energy flow that caused her attacks to miss by millimeters or lose cohesion before impact. That's it, she exclaimed after a particularly elegant exchange. You're starting to get it. Even Aurea, despite her measured demeanor, couldn't conceal her surprise at his progress. Your cognitive adaptation rate exceeds any documented case of celestial instruction, she noted during their 34th session. Most apprentice angels require centuries to achieve similar resonance alignment. Goku, characteristically modest about his achievements, simply shrugged. It just feels natural, like something I always could have done but didn't know was there. As training progressed, something unexpected developed. Despite their vastly different origins and temperaments, both instructors found themselves increasingly drawn to Goku, not merely as a student but as an individual. Aurea, accustomed to the perfect but passionless existence of angels, found his emotional transparency and genuine joy in discovery strangely compelling. Solera, raised in a culture that valued strength above all else, was fascinated by how he combined tremendous power with genuine kindness. Neither spoke of this growing attraction, but it manifested in subtle ways. Aurea's lessons extending beyond scheduled durations, Solera's combat drills involving increasingly elaborate scenarios requiring close cooperation. Both found reasons to observe him even during their designated rest periods. On the 55th celestial moment of training, a significant breakthrough occurred. During a particularly intense session combining Aurea's celestial principles with Solera's combat applications, Goku accessed a new state of awareness. The angel ki within him synchronized perfectly with his Saiyan power, creating not a transformation in the conventional sense, but a harmonization of seemingly contradictory energies. His appearance altered subtly, hair remaining black but gaining an understated silver sheen. Eyes retaining their onyx color but reflecting starlight from within. A faint blue-white aura surrounded him, not flaring wildly like his normal power manifestation but pulsing with gentle precision. Celestial harmony state, Aurea whispered, recognizing something unprecedented. He's achieved complete integration between mortal and celestial energies. Solera's scouter, modified to track unusual energy signatures, exploded instantly. Power reading exceeded measurement capacity before breakdown, she reported, removing the damaged device. But it wasn't just quantity, the quality was fundamentally different. Goku examined his hands, noticing how reality seemed to ripple slightly around his movements, causality itself responding to his presence. This feels right, he said simply. Like finding a piece of myself that was always missing. The final 5 celestial moments of training focused on control and practical application. Goku learned to modulate his energy signature to avoid detection. To utilize his new perceptive abilities for both combat and navigation between dimensional boundaries, and to channel Angel Ki for effects beyond simple destruction, including limited healing and temporal stabilization. On the 60th celestial moment, as promised, the adjudicators returned. The central figure observed Goku's progress with what might have been approval. The instruction period is complete, she announced. You have exceeded all projections, mortal called Goku. Thanks, he replied with characteristic directness. It was a great training opportunity. The fifth adjudicator stepped forward. As promised, you will now be returned to precisely the moment required for Earth's defense against the Saiyan invaders. However, you must understand, your journey has only begun. What you have learned here represents merely the foundation of Angel Ki utilization. I figured as much, Goku nodded. There's always more to learn. That's what makes it exciting. The adjudicators exchanged glances before the central figure continued. Your instructors will accompany you to Earth. The unusual nature of your energy signature may attract entities beyond your current capability to manage. This surprised all three of them. Araya's perfect composure slipped momentarily. Adjudicator, such direct intervention in mortal affairs. As unprecedented but necessary, the first adjudicator interrupted. The emergence of Angel Ki in a mortal represents a cosmic event with far-reaching implications. Observation and protection protocols apply. Solera, recovering more quickly, nodded with satisfaction. The Sadala Defense Force already tasked me with investigating dimensional disturbances. This extension is within my mission parameters. Then it is settled, the central adjudicator declared. Prepare for dimensional transfer to Earth, Universe 7, at coordinates matching the arrival of Saiyan invaders designated, Vegeta, and Nappa. Goku turned to Hi's instructors, now companions for the challenges ahead. Ready to meet my friends. Fair warning. Earth is pretty different from this place. Observation of mortal habitats will provide valuable comparative data, Araya stated. Though something in her silver eyes suggested more personal interest. Just promise me some decent opponents, Solera added with a predatory grin. 6 weeks of training you has me itching for a real fight. Oh, I think Vegeta will give you exactly what you're looking for. Goku laughed, his excitement building at the thought of testing his new abilities in actual combat. The adjudicators raised their staffs in unison, creating a complex dimensional gateway. Through its shimmering surface, Earth became visible, specifically, the rocky wasteland where Piccolo, Gohan, and the others awaited the Saiyan invasion. Transit in 3, 2, 1, intoned the central adjudicator. Reality folded around them once more, the celestial realm giving way to the familiar blue sky and brown earth of his home planet. As dimensional stability returned, Goku sensed multiple power signatures ahead, his friends, gathered and ready for battle, unaware that the nature of the coming conflict had fundamentally changed. Beside him, Araya observed their surroundings with clinical interest while Solera immediately assessed the terrain for tactical advantages. Both remained close to Goku, their presence creating an unusual energy signature that would undoubtedly attract attention far beyond the approaching Saiyans. In the distance, 2 attack pods streaked through the atmosphere, heralding the arrival of Vegeta and Nappa. But unlike the original timeline, they wouldn't face merely a powerful Saiyan warrior. They would encounter something unprecedented in cosmic history, a mortal wielding the power of angels. Goku smiled, the silver highlights in his hair catching the sunlight as he prepared to defend his adopted world with abilities beyond even his own imagination just 6 weeks prior. Let's go say hello, he suggested, stepping forward to meet Destiny's altered course. Chapter 2. Realms Beyond. Vegeta's scream echoed across the wasteland, primal rage colliding with stunned disbelief. Blood streamed from a dozen wounds that should have been impossible. The Saiyan Prince, elite warrior of a near-extinct race, found himself outmatched in ways his combat-hardened mind struggled to comprehend. Across the battlefield, Kakarot stood unscathed, that infuriating calm never leaving his face, silver-tinged black hair barely disturbed by the apocalyptic exchange they'd just concluded. Impossible, Vegeta snarled, spitting a mouthful of copper-tasting blood onto the fractured earth. You're low-class trash. A genetic footnote. How are you doing this? The question wasn't merely rhetorical. Something fundamental had changed in his opponent's fighting style. Kakarot didn't merely evade attacks. He moved as though the battle had already been choreographed, each defensive maneuver executed with millisecond perfect timing. Most disturbing was the complete absence of wasted energy, not a single movement lacked purpose. Nearby, Nappa's broken body testified to this efficiency. The hulking warrior hadn't even warranted Kakarot's full attention. A precise strike to the spine had neutralized him within seconds of engagement, delivered with surgical precision rather than Saiyan brutality. It doesn't have to continue, Vegeta, Goku offered, his voice carrying that strange multi-tonal quality that had emerged with his Angel Ki awakening. You're injured. Surrender and we can. Never. Vegeta's aura exploded outward, desperation fueling one final assault. The surrounding landscape disintegrated under the pressure of his power, rock formations crumbling to dust as he channeled everything into a single devastating attack. Violet energy coalesced between his palms, condensing to a critical threshold that threatened planetary stability. Gallic gun. Fire. The beam lanced forward, carrying enough destructive potential to shatter Earth's crust, aimed not just at Goku but angled to ensure maximum collateral damage. A final spiteful gesture from a warrior facing defeat. Time seemed to crystallize around Goku. His perception, enhanced by Angel Ki, allowed him to observe the attack's progression with preternatural clarity, not merely its current state but its potential futures and probable outcomes. Rather than matching force with force as his Saiyan instincts suggested, he extended one hand and gently redirected the probability curve of the energy's path. The massive beam curved, not violently, not explosively, but with elegant precision, its trajectory bending skyward where it dissipated harmlessly in the upper atmosphere. Goku hadn't countered Vegeta's attack, he'd negotiated with it, suggesting an alternative that reality itself implemented. From her observation position atop a nearby mesa, Urea's silver eyes narrowed slightly, the celestial equivalent of profound surprise. Remarkable application, she murmured. He's utilizing causal suggestion at an advanced level without formal instruction. Beside her, Solera tracked the battle with professional assessment overlaid with growing personal interest. It's not just technical skill. His combat intuition is translating celestial principles into practical applications instantly. Her L twitched with barely suppressed excitement. I've never seen anything like it. Below, Vegeta collapsed to his knees, energy reserves depleted, pride shattered more thoroughly than his body. Finish it, he growled. Grant me a warrior's death. Goku approached steadily, his strange silvery blue aura pulsing with gentle rhythm. That's not why I fight. He extended his hand, not to deliver a finishing blow but as an offer of assistance. You don't have to be defined by what you were taught. There are better paths than conquest. For a moment, brief but significant, something shifted in Vegeta's expression. Perhaps the first microscopic crack in his conditioning. Then his features hardened once more. Sentimental fool, your mercy will be your downfall. Before Goku could respond, the air above the battlefield rippled with unnatural distortion. Unlike the elegant dimensional transfers Urea created, this manifestation tore raggedly through reality's fabric. The sky darkened to an unnature. Al-Crimson's spatial integrity degraded around the anomaly. Urea was beside Goku instantly, moving with speed that made even Saiyan combat seem sluggish by comparison. Unauthorized dimensional incursion, she stated, her normally perfect composure showing subtle signs of concern. Classification: predatory trans-universal entity. Solera landed on Goku's other side, combat stance ready. Translation for those without celestial dictionaries. Something noticed our battle and decided to investigate, Goku replied, his enhanced perception already mapping the distortion's energy signature. Something big. The dimensional tear stabilized into a ragged portal approximately 30 meters in diameter. Through its fluctuating boundary emerged a creature defying conventional description. Its foe, appeared simultaneously gaseous and solid, with a central mass resembling liquefied obsidian surrounded by tendrils of crimson energy that constantly shifted and reconfigured. Where a face might exist on a biological entity, this being displayed a cluster of prismatic structures that emitted dissonant frequencies rather than light. Fascinating, Urea observed with clinical detachment. A void harvester. They typically confine themselves to dimensional boundaries, feeding on entropy between universes. It's here for me, isn't it? Goku asked, already knowing the answer. Correct, you're Aang. L-key manifestation during combat created a beacon visible across dimensional boundaries. This entity perceives you as an unprecedented energy source. The creature's attention focused on Goku, its prismatic sensory cluster rotating with increased intensity. The air around it distorted as reality itself rejected its unnatural presence, creating visible ripples in the fabric of existence. Open black lens bracket anomaly detected. Close black lens bracket. The entity communicated not through sound but directly into their consciousness, each concept carrying uncomfortable harmonics that caused nearby rocks to vibrate and shatter. Open black lens bracket classification. Hybrid energy signature. Celestial, mortal integration unprecedented. Harvesting priority alpha. Close black lens bracket. I don't think it's here for conversation, Solera noted, energy gathering around her fists. Conventional combat will prove ineffective. Araya cautioned. Void entities exist partially outside normal causality. Physical attacks pass through their non-material aspects while energy-based assaults are simply absorbed. Vegeta, despite his injuries, had regained his feet and assessed the situation with a warrior's clarity. What is this abomination? A predator from between dimensions, Goku explained, his perception tracking the creature's fluctuating presence across multiple probability states simultaneously. And it's hungry. The Void Harvester extended tendrils of crimson energy toward Goku, each appendage leaving trails of destabilized reality in its wake. Grass withered, stone crumbled to dust, and air molecules dissociated where these tendrils passed. This wasn't destruction in conventional sense but something more fundamental, the unraveling of existence itself. Goku didn't retreat. Instead, he accessed the celestial harmony state he'd achieved during training, allowing an gel key to synchronize perfectly with his Saiyan power. The silver highlights in his hair intensified, and his eyes reflected impossible constellations as he extended one hand toward the approaching entity. I don't want to fight you, he offered, but I won't let you harm this world. Open black lens bracket negotiation irrelevant. Consumption imperative. Close black lens bracket. The entity accelerated its approach, multiple tendrils convergent. G from different vectors to ensnare its target. Goku remained motionless until the last possible moment, then executed a technique impossible for any conventional fighter. Rather than physically evading, he shifted his position in probability space, causing the tendrils to intersect with each other rather than his body. The Void Harvester recoiled as its own appendages tangled and disrupted its energy flow. Open black lens bracket tactical anomaly. Recalibrating approach. Close black lens bracket. He forced it to attack itself, Solera observed with appreciative surprise. Using its multi-dimensional nature against it. Araya nodded. A creative application of causal suggestion. He's learning to think beyond physical combat. The entity withdrew briefly, its form pulsing with irregular patterns as it reassessed its strategy. The dimensional tear above expanded further, allowing more of the creature's true mass to enter Earth's reality. What emerged resembled nothing so much as a mountain of liquid darkness, constantly shifting states of matter while maintaining its fundamental wrongness. Goku turned to his companions. I need to draw it away from here. Too many people could get hurt if we fight at full capacity. Agreed, Araya replied. However, luring it to an uninhabited region won't address the fundamental problem. It will continue pursuing you across dimensional boundaries until it succeeds or is neutralized. Then we neutralize it, Goku stated with quiet determination. He glanced at Vegeta, making a split-second decision. Can you move? The Saiyan Prince glared. Don't concern yourself with me, Kakarot. I don't need your pity. This isn't about pity, it's about survival. That thing won't stop with me, it'll consume everything once it starts. Goku turned to Solera. Get him and Nappa to safety. Finn, my friends, and explain what's happening. Solera's expression showed she wanted to argue but recognized the strategic necessity. Fine, but don't you dare get yourself consumed before I get back. Wouldn't dream of it, Goku replied with that characteristic half-smile. As Solera reluctantly gathered the injured Saiyans, Goku faced the Void Harvester with Araya at his side. The creature had fully materialized now, its immense form blotting out the sun and casting an unnatural shadow across the landscape. We need to sever its connection to the void between dimensions, Araya stated. Otherwise, say it can simply retreat and return indefinitely. Goku nodded, his mind rapidly processing the complex interdimensional energies at work. If I can disrupt its core while you seal the breach. Precisely. I will require approximately 3 temporal moments to complete the necessary dimensional recalibration. You must occupy its attention completely during this interval. Consider it done. Without further discussion, Goku launched himself directly at the entity's central mass. Rather than attacking with conventional energy blasts, he channeled Angel Ki through precise movements that create intersecting patterns in reality itself. Each gesture left traces of blue-white energy that formed complex geometric structures in the air, not attacks but alterations to the fundamental rules governing that specific pocket of space-time. The Void Harvester recognized the threat instantly. Open black lens bracket dimensional reconfiguration detected. Countermeasures engaged. Close black lens bracket. Its amorphous body erupted with dozens of additional tendrils, each attempting to disrupt Goku's patterns before they could stabilize. The resulting conflict appeared less like conventional combat and more like competing mathematical equations, attempting to overwrite each other's solutions. Streams of contradictory energy collided in midair, creating cascading distortions visible as fractal patterns rippling outward from each point of contact. Behind them, Araya had assumed a meditative posture, her form surrounded by concentric rings of silvery energy. Her staff traced intricate symbols that corresponded to the multidimensional coordinates of the breach. This was high celestial magic, the precise recalibration of reality's fundamental architecture to exclude unauthorized intrusions. The Void Harvester, despite its alien nature, recognized this existential threat. Several tendrils diverted from Goku to strike at Araya, only to encounter his intercepting patterns. Each collision released shockwaves of contradictory energy that scarred the landscape with impossible geometries, flat surfaces suddenly gaining depth, straight lines bending back upon themselves, colors shifting to wavelengths beyond normal perception. 30 seconds remaining, Araya announced, her concentration unbroken despite the chaos surrounding them. Goku nodded, gathering his energy for one final, decisive maneuver. Drawing from both his Saiyan Heritag and newly acquired celestial knowledge, he created a technique without precedent, neither a conventional ki blast nor pure angel ki manipulation, but something transcending both traditions. Between his palms formed a sphere of energy resembling a miniature galaxy, containing swirling patterns of both destructive and creative potential in perfect balance. Unlike the raw power of a Kamehameha, this technique operated on fundamental principles rather than brute force, designed to rewrite the entity's internal structure rather than simply damaging it. Celestial Harmonic Convergence, he named it in the moment of its creation. Launching the sphere directly into the Harvester's core, the entity recognized the existential danger too late. Open black lens bracket critical system compromise. Retreat protocol initiate. Close black lens bracket. Its attempt to escape was interrupted as Araya completed her dimensional recalibration simultaneously. The tear above began sealing with mathematical precision, its edges knitting together like a wound healing in accelerated time. Caught between Goku's restructuring energy and the collapsing exit, the Void Harvester experienced the metaphysical equivalent of panic. Open black lens bracket error close black lens bracket. The creature's form began collapsing inward, its multi-dimensional structure unable to maintain coherence as Goku's technique rewrote its fundamental organization. Rather than being destroyed in conventional terms, the entity underwent forced evolution, its chaotic, predatory nature reorganized into stable, harmonious patterns. With a final reality-distorting implosion, the Harvester transformed. Where a mount of amorphous darkness had loomed now floated a crystalline structure resembling a geometrically perfect snowflake, each facet containing subtle patterns of regulated energy flow. Araya completed the dimensional seal, the tear closing with a sound like reality itself sighing in relief. She approached the transformed entity, studying it with professional curiosity. Remarkable, she observed. Rather than destroying it, you fundamentally reorganized its energy pattern. From predator to something else entirely. Goku lowered himself to the ground, the exertion of his unprecedented technique evident in his slightly ragged breathing. It didn't feel right to kill it. It was just following its nature. A nature you completely rewrote, Araya noted with what might have been impressed surprise. Even among angels, few possess the insight to transform rather than eliminate threats. Before Goku could respond, the transformed entity emitted a gentle pulse of harmonious energy. Open black lens bracket recalibration complete. Predatory imperatives replaced with symbiotic protocols. Gratitude extended to restructuring agent. Close black lens bracket. You're welcome, Goku replied, uncertain how to address the creature he'd fundamentally changed. Open black lens bracket new designation required. Previous classification obsolete. Requesting nomenclature assignment. Close black lens bracket. Goku considered the beautiful crystalline structure hovering before him. How about harmony? Since that's what you've become. Open black lens bracket designation accepted. Purpose recalculation in progress. Close black lens bracket. As they contemplated this unexpected development, Solera returned, landing with characteristic precision beside them. Her eyes widened at the transformed entity. I leave for 10 minutes and you've turned the monster into a giant crystal paperweight. She shook her head with grudging admiration. Your approach to combat continues to defy conventional tactics. Where are the others? Goku asked. Your green friend, Piccolo, is looking after the injured. The bald one wanted to come help, but I convinced him he'd be more useful protecting the small Saiyan child. Her expression grew more serious. But we have a new problem. That dimensional disturbance didn't go unnoticed. I'm detecting UAL energy signatures converging on this location from multiple vectors. Araya nodded in confirmation. The confrontation created significant dimensional resonance. Any being sensitive to such phenom, Ina would have detected it across vast distances. More trouble coming our way? Goku asked, already scanning the horizon. Not necessarily hostile, Araya clarified, but certainly interested. The transformation of a void harvester is unprecedented, as is a mortal-wielding angel key. Such anomalies attract attention from entities with diverse motivations. As if summoned by her words, the Arabo them shimmered with a very different kind of dimensional transition. Unlike the violent tear created by the harvester, this manifestation resembled a precisely calculated door opening between realities, clean-edged, stable, and deliberately constructed. Through this portal descended what appeared to be a small spacecraft, though its design suggested advanced technology far beyond Earth's current capabilities. Sleek and crystalline, its surface displayed constantly shifting equations and data patterns. It landed with gentle precision approximately 50 meters from their position. Technological dimensional transition, Araya observed. Origin, Universe 3, Scientific Enclave designation, Nexus Prime. The craft's seamless hull reconfigured, creating an opening from which emerged a slender female figure. Her appearance was predominantly humanoid but with subtle differences suggesting non-Earth evolution. Pale blue skin contrasted with short-cropped white hair styled in an asymmetrical pattern that emphasized efficiency over aesthetics. Her attire resembled a laboratory uniform redesigned for field research, practical yet precisely tailored, with numerous devices integrated into its fabric. Most striking were her eyes, large, vividly purple, and displaying scrolling data in their irises as they rapidly assessed everything in view. Fascinating, the newcomer stated, her voice carrying perfect modulation and a slight harmonic undertone suggesting technological enhancement. Subject presence confirmed integration of mortal and celestial energy signatures. Previously theoretical only, she approached without apparent concern for potential danger, a small device in her hand continuously scanning Goku. Subject designation. I'm Goku, he replied, somewhat taken aback by her clinical approach. And you are? Designation. Mira, Principal Researcher, Nexus Institute for Interdimensional Studies. She circled him with analytical precision. Purpose. Investigation of Anyo. Malu's energy signature detected across 17-dimensional boundaries. Classification. Highest scientific priority. Solera stepped forward, positioning herself protectively between Mira and Goku. And if we're not interested in becoming research subjects? Mira blinked, as if the concept of refusal hadn't occurred to her. Participation benefits all parties. Subject receives comprehensive anal YSIS of unprecedented physiological changes. Scientific community acquires vital data regarding mortal, celestial energy integration. Knowledge exchange represents optimal outcome. She's not wrong, Araya noted. Even angels lack complete understanding of how angel ki interacts with mortal physiology. This situation has no precedent in celestial records. Goku, ever adaptable, responded with characteristic openness. I don't mind helping with your research, but right now we might have bigger concerns. He gestured toward the sky, where multiple energy signatures were indeed converging on their location. Mira followed his gaze, her enhanced eyes processing data invisible to conventional perception. Correct assessment. Multiple dimensional approaches detected. Varied origin points. Recommendation. Temporary relocation to controlled environment for security and detailed analysis. You're suggesting we go with you? Solera asked skeptically. Affirmative. Nexus Institute maintains dimensional isolation protocols. Facility designed for research requiring cosmic privacy. Mira turned to Goku directly. Additionally, comprehensive scanning equipment available to analyze your unique energy composition. May provide insights regarding optimal utilization and potential limitations. Before Goku could respond, Harmony, the transformed void harvester, pulsed with increased luminosity. Open black lens bracket incoming threat detected. Dimensional coordinates suggest chaotic entities of negative alignment. Close black lens bracket. As if confirming this warning, the sky darkened with unnatural speed, clouds forming spiral patterns centered directly above their position. Unlike the previous dimensional disturbances, this manifestation carried distinct malevolence, reality itself seeming to recoil from whatever approached. Demonic incursion, Araya identified immediately, her posture shifting to defensive readiness. Classification. Upper echelon. Intent. Acquisition or elimination of anomalous power source. Myra's expression remained clinical, but her movements acquired increased urgency. Decision required immediately. Defensive capabilities at current location insufficient against multiple high-level interdimensional entities. Goku assessed the situation with the enhanced perception granted by Angel Ki. The approaching entities indeed carried malevolent intent focused primarily on him. Remaining here endangered not just his companions but potentially the entire planet if a full-scale interdimensional conflict erupted. My friends, he began. I need to make sure they're safe before. The Namekian has relocated them to your master's island. Solera interjected. I made sure they understood the danger. Goku nodded gratefully. All right, Mira, lead the way to this institute of yours. But I'll need to return soon. Earth still needs protection. Temporal relativity manipulable within Nexus fields, Mira assured him. Extended research period can conclude with minimal Earth-time passage. The spiraling darkness above intensified. Crimson lightning arcing between cloud formations as the demonic presence grew stronger. Mira activated a device on her wrist, causing her small craft to reconfigure into an expanded transportation module. Immediate departure recommended, she stated, gesturing toward the open hatch. Goku turned to Harmony. What about you? Open black lens bracket. This unit requests permission to accompany. PURPO. SE recalculation includes protection of restructuring agent. Close black lens bracket. The crystalline entity's energy signature is symbiotically linked to yours, Mira observed with scientific interest. Inclusion presents valuable research opportunity regarding transmutative energy interactions. With reality deteriorating around them, they boarded Myra's craft quickly. Its interior was surprisingly spacious. Configure D with both research equipment and comfortable accommodation. The moment they were aboard, Mira activated a complex sequence of controls, causing the vessel to phase partially out of conventional reality. Through the transparent hull, they observed the demonic manifestation fully materialize, a swirling vortex of crimson and black energy from which emerged monstrous entities of various forms, all sharing malevolent intent. Their arrival, however, came moments too late as Myra's craft completed its dimensional transition, disappearing from Earth's reality entirely. The transition experience differed significantly from Araya's celestial methods. Rather than the seamless reorganization of reality, Myra's technological approach created a sensation of passing through multiple layers of existence simultaneously, each with subtly different physical laws and energy compositions. When stability returned, they found themselves approaching a massive structure suspended in what appeared to be the void between universes. The Nexus Institute resembled a geometric impossibility, a complex of interconnected platforms, laboratories, and habitation modules arranged in patterns suggesting non-Euclidean mathematics. Energy fields of various colors and intensities surrounded different sections, presumably maintaining appropriate conditions for diverse research projects. Primary research facility of Universe 3, Mira explained as they approached. Dedicated to interdimensional studies and advanced energy applications. Currently hosting 273 researchers from 17 universes. The craft docked with precise automation at one of the external platforms. As they disembarked, Goku sensed the unusual nature of this environment immediately, not quite belonging to any specific universe but existing in the boundary space between realities, where physical laws became suggestions rather than requirements. The ambient energy here, he noted, it's different. I can feel every atom vibrating at multiple frequencies simultaneously. Mira nodded with apparent approval. Accurate observation. Nexus exists at dimensional intersection point. Multiple reality frameworks overlap, cr. Eating unique conditions for examining fundamental forces. As they proceeded through the facility's entrance, various researchers of diverse species paused in their activities to observe the newcomers. Particular attention focused on Goku, with many devices being surreptitiously aimed in his direction, undoubtedly recording his unique energy signature. Your arrival has generated significant scientific interest, Mira explained, leading them toward a central laboratory complex. Mortal, celestial energy integration previously considered theoretical impossibility. Is that why you detected our battle from so far away? Goku asked. Affirmative. Dimensional monitoring stations recorded unprecedented energy pattern. Classification algorithms failed to categorize. Direct investigation authorized at highest priority. The central laboratory they entered defied conventional description. Equipment of impossible sophistication lined the walls, much of it appearing to exist in multiple states simultaneously. In the center stood a circular platform surrounded by hovering diagnostic instruments that continuously reconfigured themselves into optimal observation positions. Preliminary examination chamber, Mira explained. Non-invasive analysis only. Purpose. Baseline establishment of your unique physiological and energetic parameters. Goku approached the platform with characteristic lack of hesitation. Will this help me understand what's happening to me? Affirmative. Complete spectrum analysis will identify specific interactions between Saiyan biology and angel key integration. Why reveal optimal utilization methods and potential developmental pathways? As Goku stepped onto the platform, Solera moved closer to Araya, keeping her voice low. Do you trust her? This feels too convenient. The Nexus Institute maintains strict neutrality in cosmic affairs, Araya replied. Their interest appears genuinely scientific rather than exploitative. However, her silver eyes tracked Myra's movements with subtle scrutiny. Her personal motivations may extend beyond institutional objectives. The examination began with fields of multicolored energy enveloping Goku, each calibrate D to analyze different aspects of his unique condition. Holographic displays materialized around the chamber, showing real-time data regarding his cellular structure, energy pathways, and the unprecedented integration between mortal and celestial systems. Mira moved between these displays with increasing animation, her clinical demeanor giving way to genuine excitement as data accumulated. Extraordinary. Angel Key hasn't merely supplemented your natural energy, it's fundamentally restructuring your entire system. Your cells are simultaneously existing in normal space-time and partial celestial state. Is that good? Goku asked. From research perspective, unprecedented. From practical application perspective, Mira actually smiled for the first time. Potentially revolutionary. You're evolving beyond conventional classification parameters. While the examination continued, Harmony had positioned itself near the laboratory entrance, its crystalline structure pulsing with gentle rhythms that seemed to map the surrounding energy fields. Open black lens bracket security notification. Dimensional approach detected. Classification. Controlled breach utilizing demonic frequency patterns. Close black lens bracket. Araya straightened immediately. They've tracked us across dimensions. Mira consulted a monitoring station. Impossible. Nexus shielding prevents dimensional targeting from external sources. Open black lens bracket correction. Tracking meth. ODOLOGY utilizes sympathetic resonance with restructuring agent's unique energy signature. Conventional shielding insufficient. Close black lens bracket. Before they could respond, alert signals activated throughout the facility. Crimson warning lights pulsed as automated systems detected the unauthorized approach. A voice that seemed to emerge from the structure itself announced, "Attention all research personnel. Unsha. Dull dimensional incursion detected in Sector 7. Containment protocols engaged." This is not a drill. Myra's expression shifted from scientific fascination to practical concern. "Evacuation recommended. Primary laboratory complex designed for research, not interdimensional conflict." Goku stepped off the examination platform, his senses already tracking the approaching disturbance. "These entities, they're coming specifically for me, aren't they?" "Correct assessment," Araya confirmed. "Your unique energy signature represents unprecedented power potential. Various factions would seek to control or eliminate such an unknown variable in the cosmic equation." The laboratory's entrance reconfigured as a senior researcher entered, a tall, multi-armed being with crystalline skin and eyes that rotated independently to track multiple data streams simultaneously. "Principal Researcher Mira, security protocols require immediate relocation of the anomalous subject to containment level." "Negative, Director," Mira responded with unexpected firmness. "Subject Goku is a research participant, not containment case. Defensive measures should focus on repelling incursion while preserving research integrity." The director's expression suggested this defiance was uncharacteristic. "Your emotional investment is noted and concerning, Mira. The subject presents unprecedented research opportunity, but facility security takes priority." "I'm not going into containment," Goku stated simply, his tone friendly but unyielding. "But I'll help defend your facility if that's what's needed." Before the director could respond, the dimensional breach progressed from theoretical to actual. Unlike the previous tiers in reality, this manifestation appeared controlled and deliberate, a perfectly circular portal rimmed with glowing runes in an ancient language. The space within rippled with heat distortion, revealing glimpses of a realm characterized by perpetual twilight and twisted architecture. Through this perfectly formed portal stepped a figure that caused even Araya to tense visibly. Female in form but radiating power that defied conventional classification, she moved with predatory grace augmented by obvious royal bearing. Her skin displayed a deep crimson complexion with subtle patterns resembling circuit pathways that pulsed with internal energy. Eyes of absolute blackness reflected no light, appearing as portals to the void itself. A crown of crystallized darkness adorned her head, each spine emanating subtle waves of reality-distorting energy. Her attire combined ceremonial NCE with practical combat functionality, a form-fitting suit of material resembling liquid shadow beneath ornamental armor bearing symbols of ancient power. Most striking was the casual confidence with which she surveyed the laboratory. As if dimensional breaches and facility lockdowns were minor inconveniences beneath her concern. "Well," she spoke, her voice carrying harmonics that caused nearby equipment to vibrate at sympathetic frequencies. This was more difficult to arrange than anticipated. Dimensional coordinates are so tediously precise. Araya stepped forward, placing herself between the newcomer and Goku. "Princess Kasai of the 10th Demonic Convergence. You violate multiple cosmic treaties by your presence in this neutral research facility." The demonic royal offered a smile that contained neither warmth nor humor. "Araya of the 7th Choir. Still following rules written by beings afraid of genuine power, I see." Her void black eyes shifted to Goku. "And this must be the anomaly causing such delightful chaos across the dimensional spectrum." Goku met her gaze without intimidation. "I'm Goku, and you're trespassing in a place that doesn't want you here." How refreshingly direct. Kasai approached with measured steps, each movement suggesting controlled power. "No cowering, no tedious diplomatic evasions. I appreciate that in any being." "State your purpose," Araya demanded, her staff materializing in her hand. "Must everything be so adversarial?" Kasai sighed theatrically. "I simply wished to meet the mortal who's accomplished what generations of demonic ritual couldn't achieve, accessing celestial power without losing his original nature." Her gaze intensified as she studied Goku. "The potential implications are fascinating." The facility's security systems had fully activated, energy barriers forming around the laboratory's perimeter while robotic sentinels took defensive positions. Mira moved to a control console, fingers flying across its surface. External reinforcement requested. Containment field parameters adjusted to specific demonic energy frequency. Kasai noticed these preparations with amused tolerance. "Such efforts are unnecessary. Had I intended destruction, this facility would already be collapsing into the void. She returned her attention to Goku. I've come with information and a proposition, nothing more. What information? Goku asked, his enhanced perception noting the subtle energy manipulations Kasai was performing despite her casual demeanor. Beneath her apparent calm, he sensed calculation and carefully controlled power. Your transformation hasn't gone unnoticed by powers greater than those already mentioned. Her voice lowered, taking on a more serious tone. The Council of Cosmic Architects merely represents one faction among many. Others view your emergence as a threat to established order, a wild variable in carefully balanced equations. Araya's expression revealed nothing, but Goku sensed her subtle tension at these words. The Council's ruling was clear. His instruction and observation fall under celestial jurisdiction. And we all know how neutral and trustworthy celestial jurisdiction has proven throughout multiversal history. Kasai replied with sardonic amusement. She circled Goku slowly, examining him from multiple angles. Tell me, Saiyan who wields Angel Ki, have they explained what you truly represent? The prophecies your existence fulfills. The ancient texts that speak of mortal and celestial convergence. Goku maintained his calm, though these questions stirred something within him, intuitive recognition of deeper truths not yet revealed. I'm just trying to protect my home and understand these new powers. Kasai's laugh carried genuine delight. Such humble framing of cosmic significance. Charming, truly. Her expression grew more serious. But naivety, however endearing, is ultimately dangerous. You've become a nexus point in multiversal politics without understanding the board upon which you now play. Princess Kasai, Mira interjected, her scientific curiosity evidently overcoming cautionary protocols. Your reference to prophecies and texts suggests prior KN. Knowledge of mortal, celestial integration possibility. The Nexus Institute would value access to such historical documentation. Of course you would, Kasai smiled indulgently. Knowledge is power, after all. And power is what everyone seeks in their various ways. She returned her attention to Goku. Which brings me to my proposition. I'm listening, Goku replied, maintaining neutral ground between receptiveness and commitment. Alliance. Not servitude, not subjugation, but mutual cooperation. Kasai's voice took on passionate intensity. The dimensional boundaries have remained rigid for too long. Governed by entities who fear change and evolution. Your existence represents the potential for something new, a bridge between realms previously separated by artificial constraints. Solera, who had been observing silently, finally spoke. And I'm sure your interest is purely philosophical, with no personal ambition involved whatsoever. Kasai acknowledged the sarcasm with an appreciative nod. All beings have ambition. Universe 6 Saiyan. The question is whether those ambitions align with greater cosmic benefit. She turned back to Goku. I offer knowledge about your condition that the celestial hierarchy would keep from you. Training in aspects of your power that angels cannot comprehend. And protection from factions already mobilizing to neutralize what they cannot control. The offer hung in the air, compelling in its directness and the undeniable power Kasai radiated. Goku considered it with the enhanced perspective Angel Ki provided, perceiving not just the stated proposal, but probable motivations and potential consequences. I appreciate the offer, he finally responded, but I make alliances based on trust, not promises. And trust takes time to build. Rather than showing disappointment or anger, Kasai's expression reflected genuine approval. A measured response, neither rejection nor acceptance, maintaining freedom of future action. Perhaps you understand the game better than you pretend. Before Goku could reply, the entire facility shuddered as a second-dimensional breach began forming, this one larger and far less controlled than Kasai's elegant portal. Alarms blared with increased urgency as automated systems registered multiple hostiles approaching. It seems our conversation has attracted unwanted attention, Kasai noted with obvious displeasure. Quote, the Void Consortium rarely appreciates diplomatic approaches to acquisition. Myris monitoring equipment displayed the approaching entities, amorphous creatures similar to the Void Harvester but lacking its singular intelligence. Moving more like a swarm with collective purpose. Designation. Void Scavengers. Lower-order entities typically deployed as advance force before major incursion. The fact Illity's director had already activated emergency protocols, research personnel evacuating in orderly fashion as defense systems shifted to maximum capacity. Principal researcher Mira, protocol require. Immediate relocation of priority subjects to secure levels. Negative, Goku interrupted, moving toward the forming breach. Retreating just delays the problem. These entities are tracking my GY signature. They'll follow wherever we go. Correct assessment, Kasai agreed, stepping to his side with surprising solidarity. Sometimes offensive action provides the most effective defense. And Solera exchanged glances before joining them, forming an impromptu defensive line as the breach widened to permit entry of the first void scavengers, writhing masses of semi-substantial darkness that flowed across surfaces like living oil, consuming energy from equipment they contacted. Goku accessed his celestial harmony state once more, the silver highlights in his hair intensifying as Angel Ki synchronized with his Saiyan power. 4 directions, 4 defenders. We contain this breach and drive them back. The others nodded in agreement, setting aside their various agendas in the face of immediate threat. As the void scavengers poured through the widening breach, each defender demonstrated their unique combat methodology. Araya moved with celestial precision, her staff tracing complex patterns that reconfigured local reality, creating pockets where the creatures found themselves subject to accelerated entropy, their unstable forms dissolving into component particles. Solera Amp. Lloyd disciplined Saiyan combat techniques augmented by her Universe 6 training, each energy blast precisely calibrated to disrupt the specific frequency at which the scavengers maintained cohesion. Her movements displayed economy and tactical awareness far beyond typical Saiyan berserker approach. Kasai revealed combat capabilities combining ancient demonic arts with surprising discipline. Crimso. Energy formed constructs resembling geometric weapons that sliced through dimensional layers, severing the creatures' connections to their home realm and rendering them vulnerable to conventional attacks. Goku, however, demonstrated something altogether different. Rather than simply destroying the entities, he applied what he'd learned from transforming the Void Harvester, his attacks restructured rather than eliminated, converting chaotic energy into ordered patterns. Each scavenger that approached him emerged transformed into crystalline structures similar to but smaller than Harmony, their predatory nature reorganized into balanced existence. Remarkable, Mira observed from her monitoring station, recording everything despite the chaos. He's not destroying them, he's evolving them. Seeing accelerated adaptation toward higher order existence. The breach continued disgorging entities, but the combined defense prevented any from penetrating deeper into the facility. After several minutes of sustained combat, the flow began diminishing, the controlling intelligence behind the incursion apparently reassessing its approach given the unexpected resistance. As the final scavengers were neutralized or transformed, the breach itself began destabilizing, its edges fluctuating as maintenance energy diminished. With a final surge of dissonant frequencies, it collapsed entirely, leaving the laboratory damaged but secure. Incursion contained, announced the facility's automated systems. Dimensional integrity restored to acceptable parameters. In the aftermath, dozens of small Stalin entities, former void scavengers, hovered in harmonious patterns around the laboratory. Harmony, the original transformed entity, approached these smaller versions, establishing communication through resonant energy pulses. Open black lens bracket integration proceeding. Newly restructured units adapting to harmonious existence protocols. Close black lens bracket. Goku relaxed his energy state, returning to normal appearance though the Angel Ki remained active within him. They're not hostile anymore, they just needed a different perspective. Kasai observed this outcome with undisguised fascination. You didn't simply defeat them, you converted them. That's not Angel Ki methodology. Angels eliminate chaos, they don't transform it. Her void black eyes studied him with renewed interest. What exactly are you becoming, Goku of Earth? I'm still figuring that out myself. He replied honestly. The laboratory, despite suffering significant damage, was already being repaired by automated systems. Mira approached, her clinical deem. Anor now overlaid with something approaching excitement. Data collected during confrontation exceeds all projected research parameters, she announced, displaying holographic representations of Goku's energy patterns during combat. Your methodology defies conventional classification. Neither purely celestial nor typically mortal, but something emergent. Indeed, agreed Araya, her silver eyes reflecting complex calculations. The angel key integration isn't simply providing you access to celestial techniques, it's evolving in response to your Saiyan nature, creating something unprecedented. Director approached, observing the aftermath with scientific detachment. The security breach is concerning, but the research opportunity remains unparalleled. Principal Researcher Mira, you will see. Continue primary analysis of the subject while facility defenses undergo comprehensive upgrade. With respect, Director, Goku interjected, I'm not staying indefinitely. Earth still needs protection, and I have friends waiting for me. Of course, the Director replied smoothly. However, given demonstrated tracking capabilities of hostile entities, your presence elsewhere simply transfers risk to less defended locations. Logical conclusion suggests remaining within Nexus security perimeter while analysis continues offers optimal solution for all parties. Mira stepped closer to Goku, her voice lowering slightly. Full analysis requires approximately 72 hours. Temporal manipulation fields can ensure minimal Earth time passage during this period. Additionally, her expression showed unusual emotion. Your condition represents not merely scientific curiosity but potential evolutionary significance. Understanding it properly serves greater purpose than academic knowledge. She's not wrong, Solera added unexpectedly. Whatever's happening to you is attracting attention across dimensions. Better to understand it fully before returning to a planet ill-equipped to handle the consequences. Goku considered these perspectives, weighing responsibilities and practical necessities. 3 days here, but nearly no time passes on Earth. Correct, Mira confirmed. Differential. Temporal fields maintain 98% compression ratio. And I get complete information about what you discover. No holding back research results. Full disclosure guaranteed, Mira agreed immediately. Shooting a glance at the director that suggested this commitment overrode institutional protocols. Then I'll stay, Goku decided. But I want my friends informed that I'm safe. Arrangements will be made, the director assured him, though with noticeably less enthusiasm than Mira. With immediate crisis resolved, the laboratory began transitioning to research mode once more. Repair. Drones reconstructed damaged sections while diagnostic systems recalibrated for more comprehensive analysis. Harmony and its newly transformed companions arranged themselves in geometric patterns that somehow enhanced the facility's energy efficiency, their first contribution to their new environment. As preparations continued, Kasai approached Goku with measured casualness. It seems our conversation must continue another time. But remember what I said about factions and agendas. Even here, surrounded by supposed scientific neutrality, currents of politics flow beneath the surface. You're leaving? Goku asked, genuinely curious despite the complex dynamics between his diverse companions. For now, my unannounced visit has undoubtedly triggered various diplomatic concerns. Her smile contained predatory amusement. But unlike celestial protocols or scientific caution, I believe in directness. When you wish to learn what the others won't tell you, about the prophecies, about what you truly represent in the cosmic order, you need only call my name with intent. I will hear it across dimensions. With that cryptic offer, she moved toward a section of undamaged wall, gesturing elegant. Li to create another precisely formed portal. Before stepping through, she turned back one last time. Until we meet again, Goku of Earth. Try not to let them dissect what makes you unique in their quest to understand it. The portal closed behind her with perfect symmetry, leaving no trace of its existence. Fascinating entity, Mira observed, approaching with scanning equipment already analyzing the dimensional residue. Demonic royalty rarely engages directly with mortal affairs unless significant advantage anticipated. She wasn't lying about the factions, Araya admitted reluctantly. Emergence has indeed activated ancient protocols and prophecies long considered metaphorical rather than literal. Goku turned to her with direct gaze. And when were you planning to tell me about these prophecies? For the first time since they'd met, Araya appeared momentarily discomfited. Information dissemination follows established sequences. Premature exposure to cosmic scale implication can destabilize developmental progression. She means they don't tell you everything at once because they think it might freak you out, Solera translated with sardonic accuracy. I prefer transparency, Goku stated simply. Whatever's happening to me, whatever it means for the bigger picture, I need to know. Not just for my sake, but for everyone who might be affected. Mira, observing this exchange, made an unexpected intervention. Research methodology modification proposed. Subject integration in analysis process rather than conventional subject-researcher separation. Cooperative approach. Leveraging unique perspective may yield superior results. The director appeared ready to object but reconsidered after evaluating the damaged laboratory and transformed void entities. Approved. Conventional situation warrants unconventional methodology. Principal researcher Mira will coordinate integrated approach with full subject participation. With that decided, the research phase began in earnest. Over the following hours, extended to days within the temporal manipulation field, Goku participated actively in discovering the nature of his transformation. Rather than being merely examined, he worked alongside Mira to develop testing protocols that reflected his subjective experience of angel key integration. This collaborative approach yielded insights that conventional research might have missed. The angel key wasn't simply coexisting with his Saiyan energy, it was creating an entirely new system that transcended both sources. His cells had begun existing simultaneously in norm space-time and a partial celestial state, allowing him to perceive and interact with reality on multiple levels simultaneously. Most significantly, the research revealed that this transformation wasn't random or accidental. His unique soul structure, having experienced death while retaining his physical body, had created conditions where intensive key manipulation could breach the barrier between mortal and celestial energies. But this potential had existed in latent form throughout mortal history, appearing in various prophecies and ancient texts as the convergence, a theoretical being who old bridge the artificial separation between realms. Throughout this intensive research period, relationships between the unlikely companions evolved in unexpected ways. Araya, despite her celestial reserve, demonstrated increasing personal interest in Goku beyond professional obligation. Her perfect composure occasionally faltered when explaining celestial concepts, revealing glimpses of individual personality beneath the angel exterior. Solera maintained her warrior's pragmatism but displayed growing respect for Goku's unique approach to power and conflict. Their training sessions became increasingly collaborative rather than instructional, each learning from the other's distinct combat philosophy. Most surprising was Myra's evolution. The clinical scientist who had initially approached Goku as a fascinating research subject gradually revealed deeper dimensions. Her passionate commitment to knowledge served a genuine desire to understand existence's fundamental nature, not merely categorical classification. As they worked together, her interactions became less formal, more personally engaged, scientific curiosity blending with genuine connection. On the final day of research, with comprehensive analysis nearing completion, Goku stood within a specialized chamber designed to map the full spectrum of his energy integration. Holographic displays surrounded Mira as she compiled he accumulated data into coherent patterns. Convergence progression exceeds all theoretical models, she stated, genuine wonder entering her typically measured voice. You're not simply accessing key, you're creating an entirely new energy classification that transcends established categories. Goku observed the swirling patterns representing his internal energy flow. Is that why it feels errant from both regular key and what Araya uses? Like it's still figuring out what it wants to be. Precisely. Myra's expression showed appreciation for his intuitive understanding. Conventional energy classifications assume fixed properties. Your system demonstrates adaptive evolution, responding to intention and experience rather than predetermined parameters. From her observation position, Araya added, this explains your ability to transform void entities rather than simply destroying them. Angels maintain cosmic order through established protocols, elimination of chaos rather than its evolution. Your approach suggests alternative possibilities previously unconsidered, which makes you dangerous to those invested in maintaining current cosmic hierarchy, Solera concluded, her tactical mind immediately identifying strategic implications. If mortals can evolve toward celestial nature rather than remaining permanently separated, the entire basis of multiversal governance requires reconsideration, Mira finished. displaying a comprehensive model of cosmic power structures and the potential disruption Goku's existence represented. Harmony, who had remained nearby throughout the research phase, pulsed with increased luminosity. Open black lens bracket convergence entity represents evolutionary pathway. Artificial barriers between existence classifications becoming permeable. This unit calculate S significant probability of fundamental cosmic restructuring within 17 temporal cycles. Close black lens bracket. The implications hung in the air, momentarily silencing even the most analytical among them. Goku, characteristically, focused on practical rather than philosophical concerns. So what happens when I return to Earth? These entities tracking me won't stop just because I understand my power better. Correct assessment, Mira acknowledged. However, comprehensive analysis provides strategic advantage. Dimensional resonance signature now fully mapped, allowing development of masking protocols. I splayed a small device resembling a wristband. This will modulate your energy emissions, reducing detection range by approximately 87%. Not complete concealment but significant improvement. Additionally, Araya added, your improved control should prevent unintentional dimensional disruptions during combat or training. Solera approached with practical concern. But he'll still need protection, at least initially. The Saiyans were just the beginning, once word spreads through cosmic channels about what he represents. I can handle myself, Goku assured her with characteristic confidence. Though without arrogance. Perhaps, Solera acknowledged, but tactical assessment suggests continued partnership remains advantageous. The Sadala Defense Force would benefit from deeper understanding of these developments. My continued observation serves multiple interests. What remained unspoken but increasingly evident was that her motivation extended beyond professional obligation. The Universe 6 Saiyan had developed genuine respect and something more personal toward Goku during their time together. Similarly, Araya made no move to conclude her assignment. Celestial protocols require continued monitoring of unprecedented energy integration. My presence on Earth remains necessary for proper documentation. Mira, watching these transparent justifications with scientific detachment overlaid with growing personal interest, made her own decision. Research findings require practical verification in field conditions. Principal researcher designation permits autonomous assignment of long-term study protocols. This researcher will accompany subject to Earth environment for extended observation period. Goku observed these declarations with a mixture of amusement and appreciation. Despite the cosmic implications of his transformation and the potential dangers ahead, he found himself genuinely enjoying the company of these extraordinary beings from across dimensional boundaries. Well, if you're all coming to Earth, you should know it's nothing like this place, he warned with good-natured humor. The food's great though. As preparations for return finalized, the director approached Mira with obvious concern. Principal researcher, your decision contradicts established protocols regarding field assignment duration and interdimensional travel authorization. Mira's response came with uncharacteristic firmness. Exception circumstances justify exception protocols. Research opportunity transcends administrative constraints. Findings will be transmitted via secure channel at regular intervals. Quote, the director studied her with analytical precision. Your emotional investment in this subject has been noted in observation logs. It potentially compromises scientific objectivity. Alternative perspective, Mira countered without hesitation. Enhanced engagement facilitates deeper understanding of subjective experience elements critical to comprehensive analysis. Emotional investment represents research asset rather than liability in this specific case. After several moments of tension, the director relented. Authorized under Special Dispensation Protocol. Equipment requisitions approved. Temporal compression field will facilitate transition to Earth timeline with minimal disruption. With official approval secured, final preparations accelerated. Mira configured her research vessel for extended Earth deployment, installing specialized equipment for ongoing monitoring of Goku's evolution. Harmony and a select group of transformed void entities requested permission to accompany them, their crystalline structures reconfiguring to minimize detection by Earth's primitive scanning systems. As departure time approached, Goku felt both anticipation and concern, eager to return home and protect his friends, yet aware that his transformation had implications extending far beyond his personal journey. The prophecies mentioned during their Arch suggested responsibilities and challenges he was only beginning to comprehend. Standing on the transport platform as final coordinates calibrated, he turned to his unusual companions. Whatever happens next, I'm glad to have you all with me. This is definitely turning out different than my usual training trips. Solera's expression softened fractionally from its usual warrior's discipline. Universe 6 Saiyans have a saying, exceptional battles forge exceptional bonds. I think we're just getting started. Araya, maintaining her celestial composure but with subtle warmth entering her silver eyes, added. The convergence represents more than power evolution. It creates connections across boundaries previously considered absolute. Perhaps that is its most significant aspect. Mira, finalizing transport calculations with characteristic precision, paused to offer what appeared to be her first genuinely spontaneous smile. Research parameters continuing to exceed all projections. OST satisfactory project assignment in 376 research cycles. As the transport sequence initiated, Goku reflected on how thoroughly his journey had transformed from its original purpose. What began as simple training to defend Earth had evolved into something with multiversal implications, introducing him to beings and concepts beyond anything he'd previously imagined. The familiar pull of dimensional transition enveloped them, reality folding around their small group as they prepared to bridge the gap between universes once more. Earth awaited, still unaware that its most dedicated defender was returning not merely stronger, but fundamentally transformed in ways that would reshape cosmic understanding itself. Through the swirling energies of transition, Goku glimpsed potential futures branching before him, challenges and discoveries, conflicts and connections, responsibilities and possibilities. Whatever awaited on the other side, he faced it with the same open-hearted determination that had defined him since childhood, now augmented by perspectives that spanned dimensions. As Earth's reality solidified around them, the small group emerged on the familiar ground. Of Mount Paozu, Goku's humble home serving as anchor point for their return. According to Myra's calculations, barely 3 hours had passed since their departure, despite the days of research conducted within temporal manipulation fields. The mountain air carried the sense of pine and wildflowers, the simple beauty of Earth striking contrast to the impossible geometries of the Nexus Institute the perfect symmetry of celestial realms. Goku took a deep breath, reconnecting with the planet he'd dedicated himself to protecting. We're back, he announced unnecessarily but with evident satisfaction. Now to check on my friends and figure out what comes next. As they oriented themselves to Earth's familiar horizon, none could predict how profoundly their arrival would reshape not just T's world but the very structure of reality itself. The convergence had begun. Mortal and celestial, order and chaos, science and spirit, boundaries dissolving as Goku's journey continued toward horizons beyond conventional imagination. Chapter 3. Harmonic Convergence. Earth trembled, not with the localized destruction of a typical battle, but with something more fundamental. Reality itself shuddered as powers beyond mortal comprehension converged on a single point, a humble clearing in the forests near Mount Paozu where Goku stood surrounded by his unlikely companions. 6 months had passed since their return from the Nexus Institute. 6 months of escalating encounters with beings from across dimensional boundaries. 6 months of Goku's power evolving in ways that defied conventional understanding. What had begun as an accidental connection to Angel Ki had transformed into something unprecedented, a mortal ascending beyond established cosmic classifications. The forest around them rippled prismatic distortion as multiple dimensional approaches manifested simultaneously. Trees bent at impossible angles, their molecular structure temporarily existing in multiple states of reality. Sky above fractured into faceted patterns revealing glimpses of other realms beyond Earth's familiar blue. They're all coming, Araya observed, her silver eyes tracking the complex energy patterns surrounding them. Every faction, every interest, the threshold has been reached. Solera maintained her combat stance, Universe 6 Saiyan training evident in her perfect balance despite reality's fluctuation. So much for your suppression device, Mira. They've found us anyway. The scientist adjusted instruments built into her modified uniform, expression analytical despite the crisis. Suppression functioned within design parameters. Detection occurred through alternative methodology, probability tracking rather than direct energy signature. "They're not tracking my energy," Goku stated with calm certainty. "They're tracking the future I represent." 6 months had changed him in subtle but profound ways. Still recognizably Goku, still possessing that characteristic openness and battle-loving nature, yet altered by experiences beyond typical Saiyan understanding. The angel key within him had continued evolving, creating a unique energy signature that existed simultaneously in mortal and celestial frameworks. His perception now routinely operated across multiple planes of existence, seeing not just physical reality but the probability structures underlying it. Harmony, the transformed, void entity who had become Goku's unexpected ally, pulsed with increasing luminosity. Open black lens bracket dimensional convergence accelerating. Cosmic oversight entities approaching. Classification. Highest authority. Close black lens bracket. The Council of Cosmic Architects. Araya whispered, her perfect composure showing rare fractures of concern. They rarely intervene directly in any realm. Before Goku could respond, the dimensional distortions reached critical threshold. Reality parted. Not tearing as with uncontrolled breaches, but precisely folding along predetermined patterns. The resulting aperture resembled neither portal nor doorway but something more fundamental, as if existence itself had created a junction point between frameworks previously separated. Through this impossible opening emerged beings that defied conventional perception. They appeared simultaneously as elderly humanoids in elaborate robes and as geometric abstractions of pure mathematical perfection. Their bodies constantly shifted between these representations, suggesting that physical form was merely a courtesy extended to limited mortal perception rather than their actual nature. The architects, Mira breathed, scientific curiosity momentar, Ailey overriding caution as she activated recording devices integrated into her uniform. Theoretical entities responsible for fundamental cosmic architecture, previously considered metaphorical rather than literal. "I've seen them before," Goku noted with characteristic directness. "When I first connected with Angel Key, they were watching from behind the adjudicators." The 5 architects arranged themselves in a perfect pentagon around the small group, their presence causing progressive reality stabilization rather than further disruption. The forest regained its proper dimensions, though sub-TLE energy patterns remained visible to enhanced perception, sacred geometry underlying ordinary matter. The central architect, distinguished by robes containing shifting galactic patterns, addressed the M in a voice that somehow bypassed conventional sound to manifest directly in their consciousness. "Son Goku of Earth, convergence entity, bridge between frameworks, you have been summoned to account." "Account for what exactly?" Solara demanded, instinctive protectiveness overriding protocol awareness. "For becoming something unprecedented," came another voice, melodic, haunting, each syllable resonating with harmonic overtones that vibrated at the exact frequency of cellular structure. "For crossing boundaries established at creation's foundation." This newcomer descended from above, though he had not arrived through the architect's aperture. Her appearance suggested both humanoid and something more abstract, physical form composed of interweaving light patterns constantly shifting like visible sound waves. Her skin possessed an opalescent quality that reflected colors beyond conventional spectrum, while her eyes contained what appeared to be galaxies in miniature. Instead of conventional attire, her body was partially enveloped in what resembled crystallized music, 3-dimensional representations of sound waves forming elegant protective structures. Most remarkable was her movement. She did not simply fly or float but seemed to harmonize with spatial dimensions themselves, each position change accompanied by subtle musical notes that adjusted reality around her. Sona of the Celestial Chorus, Araya identified, executing a formal bow despite her evident surprise. Voice of the Cosmic Symphony. The musician cast, Mira explained quietly to Goku. Theoretical entities responsible for maintaining universal harmony through cosmic frequency regulation. Sona regarded Goku with intense focus, her galaxy-filled eyes perceiving beyond physical appearance to the unique energy integration beneath. "You hear it, don't you? The music between realms that others cannot perceive." Her question struck something fundamental within him, recognition of sensations he'd experienced but lacked vocabulary to describe. Since his Angel Key awakening, Goku had indeed perceived something resembling music underlying reality's structure, rhythmic patterns and harmonies connecting seemingly disparate elements of existence. I do, he acknowledged simply. It's always there now, behind everything else. Sona's expression transformed with wonder and what might have been vindication. Then the ancient scores speak truth. The convergence entity emerges not merely with power but with perception. She turned to the architects, musical tones underlying her words. The prophecy of harmonic union manifests as written. He hears the symphony. The central architect's geometric aspect briefly predominated as complex calculations processed. Verification required. Potential for misinterpretation exists. No misinterpretation is possible, Sona countered with harmonic confidence. Only those who bridge mortal and celestial nature can perceive the fundamental symphony. His ability confirms his role. Goku, despite the cosmic significance surrounding him, maintained his characteristic directness. I'm still not entirely clear what's happening here. What exactly am I being held accountable for? The architect's form shifted back toward humanoid representation, perhaps recognizing the need for more relatable communication. Your existence represents violation of established cosmic partition protocols. Mortal and celestial energies were separated by design at creation's foundation. Why? Goku asked simply. The question, fundamental yet rarely voiced directly to beings of such authority, created momentary silence across dimensional layers. Sona's expression revealed surprised appreciation while the architects exchanged communications through mathematical patterns too complex for others to interpret. Finally, the central architect responded, separation prevents destabilization. Mortal evolution proceeds according to established parameters while celestial entities maintain cosmic architecture. Convergence threatens this balanced system. Or perhaps, Sona suggested, her voice carrying musical undertones that seemed deliberately discordant with the architect's rigid mathematical patterns. Separation represents an artificial constraint imposed to maintain established power hierarchies rather than natural cosmic law. This philosophical disagreement between cosmic-level entities created tangible tension, reality around them fluctuating subtly as competing frameworks interacted. Goku sensed ancient conflict underlying their exchange, divergent perspectives on fundamental questions of existence's proper organization. Look, he intervened, characteristically cutting through cosmic complexity to practical concerns. I didn't deliberately break any rules. I was Saint training to protect my friends when this power awakened. If there's a problem with what I've become, I'd appreciate knowing exactly what I'm supposed to do about it. His straightforward approach seemed to reset the escalating tension. The central architect's form stabilized into primarily humanoid representation, perhaps recognizing the need for direct communication rather than abstract debate. The Council of Cosmic Architects does not assign blame. We assess implications and implement appropriate adjustments. The being gestured, creating a three-dimensional representation of Goku's UE energy signature floating between them. Your integration of mortal and celestial energies creates resonance patterns affecting multiple dimensional frameworks. The resulting harmonics have awakened entities dormant since primary creation. What kind of entities? Solera asked, tactical mind immediately assessing potential threats. The final discordance, Sona answered, her melodious voice carrying unmistakable gravity. Beings that exist specifically to consume harmonic patterns between realms, the cosmic equivalent of entropy given consciousness and purpose. Myra's scientific curiosity, engaged fully despite the ominous implications. Theoretical negative pattern entities referenced in ancient mathematical texts. Considered mythological rather than factual until recently. Quite real, Sona confirmed. Though contained within isolation frequencies established during primary creation. The unique resonance created by his evolution, she gestured toward Goku, has disrupted these containment patterns. Araya stepped forward, celestial dignity evident in her perfect posture. With respect, architects, if ancient threats have awakened, assigning responsibilities seems less productive than developing containment strategies. Containment no longer viable, stated another architect whose geometric patterns suggested specialized focus on probability calculations. Discordance. Entities have achieved 67% liberation from original constraints. Complete manifestation anticipated within 12-dimensional cycles. And when they fully manifest? Goku asked. His enhanced perception already suggested the answer. Universal disharmony, Sona explained, creating a visual representation through synchronized sound and light patterns. They consume the funda, mental frequencies that maintain reality's coherence. Entire dimensions collapse into discord as the symphony that binds existence unravels. The implications hung in the air, momentarily silencing even the most analytical among them. Goku processed this cosmic scale threat with the same directness he applied to all challenges, assessing it not as philosophical concept but as practical problem requiring solution. So we need to stop them before they fully break free, he concluded. How do we do that? Again, his straightforward approach created momentary pause among the cosmic entities. Sona recovered first, musical laughter like crystal wind chimes flowing from her. Direct action. The mortal perspective persists despite your evolution. Fascinating. Direct intervention presents significant complications. The central architect responded. Discordance entities exist primarily in subharmonic dimensional layers, partially outside conventional reality frameworks. You mean we can't just punch them really hard? Goku asked with a hint of his characteristic battle-loving optimism. Not in any conventional sense, Sona explained, musical tones suggesting thoughtful consideration. The why must be countered through harmonic realignment rather than physical confrontation. The symphony must be restored to proper resonance. Myra's analytical mind engaged with this abstract concept, translating it into practical application. Theoretical models suggest dissonant entities require harmonic counterpatterns of equal complexity but opposite phase. Essentially, constructive interference to neutralize destructive frequencies. Creating harmony to counter discord, Goku simplified, understanding the concept intuitively despite lacking technical vocabulary. Precisely, Sona confirmed, appreciation evident in her galaxy-filled eyes. But generating harmony of sufficient magnitude requires what has never before existed, a being capable of simultaneously accessing mortal passion and celestial precision. Channeling both through unified consciousness. The implication became clear to everyone present. The central architect's form shifted through several representational states before stabilizing. The convergence entity, the architect paused, then corrected, Goku of Earth represents both problem and potential solution. His unique energy integration accidentally disrupted containment harmonics. That same integration potentially enables restoration. You're saying I need to fix what I accidentally started? Goku asked. Cosmic balance often manifests such symmetry, Sona replied. Her voice carrying melodic undertones suggesting deeper understanding than mere coincidence. Perhaps this represents not accident but evolution's natural progression, challenge emerging alongside capacity to meet it. Solera, ever practical, focused on immediate concerns. So what exactly needs to happen? Where are these discordance things, and how does Goku stop them? The final discordank, currently manifests at dimensional nexus points, junctions where multiple reality frameworks intersect, Sona explained, creating visual representation through interlocking sound-light patterns. The primary manifestation concentrates at the grand harmonic convergence, the multiversal fulcrum point where all dimensional frequencies originate. The theoretical source point of creation itself, Mira translated with scientific awe. Considered metaphorical rather than literal location in conventional cosmology. Very real, Araya corrected, though accessible only to highest celestial authorities under normal circumstances. Its coordinates exist outside standard dimensional mapping systems. Goku absorbed this cosmic scale information with characteristic determination. So we need to reach this convergence point and restore the harmony before these discordance entities fully manifest. How do we get there? Not we, the central architect stated. The convergence point permits access NLY to entities vibrating at specific harmonic frequencies. Your unique integration qualifies. Conventional beings would experience immediate existence failure upon approach. This declaration created immediate resistance from Goku's companions. Solera stepped forward, warrior's pride evident in her posture. He doesn't go alone. There must be protection protocols or adaptive measures possible. Quote, theoretical harmonic synchronization might permit limited accompanying presence, Mira suggested, scientific mind already calculating possibilities. Research indicates proximity to convergence entity. Creates partial frequency adaptation in compatible energy signatures. Precisely, Sona agreed with melodic appreciation. Those whose personal harmonics have already begun resonating with his unique E frequency might survive with proper preparation. Her galaxy eyes moved thoughtfully between Araya, Solera, Mira, and even Harmony, noting the subtle energy connections that had formed during their months together. Goku looked at his companions with both appreciation and concern. This sounds dangerous. I can't ask any of you to risk your existence. You didn't ask, Solera stated flatly. Saiyans face challenges together. Universe 6 or Universe 7. Some principles transcend dimension. Celestial protocols require official observation of unprecedented harmonic interventions, Araya added, our formal justification transparently overlaying deeper motivation. Research opportunity of this magnitude cannot be foregone, Mira contributed, scientific rationale similarly serving as framework for more personal commitment. Harmony pulsed with steady blue-white luminosity. Open black lens bracket. This unit's restructured existence purpose includes supporting harmonic integration. Accompaniment logical and necessary. Close black lens bracket. Observing these declarations, Sona's expression revealed something beyond professional assessment, recognition of emotional harmonics underlying logical justifications. The connections between Goku and his companions had evolved beyond circumstantial alliance into something resembling celestial physicist Mira might call quantum entanglement at consciousness level. Very well, the central architect conceded after consulting with the others through mathematical pattern exchange. Preparatory harmonic attunement will be provided. The convergence entity and 4 companions will attempt restoration of primordial symphony patterns. 5 companions, came a familiar voice as reality parted once more, revealing a precisely formed portal through which stepped Princess Kasai. Her demonic royal attire had been replaced by battle-ready armor that somehow incorporated both practical protection and ceremonial significance. The prophecies specifically mention representatives from all primary dimensional frameworks. A demonic perspective proves necessary for complete harmonic balance. Her unexpected arrival created instant tension. Araya moved protectively closer to Goku while Solera assumed combat readiness. The architect's forms flickered between representations as they processed this development. Demonic entities were not factored into harmonic restoration calculations, the probability-focused architect stated. Then your calculations remain incomplete, Kasai countered with royal confidence. Check your oldest records, those predating current cosmic administration. The Origina L Symphony included dissonant notes providing essential counterpoint to celestial harmonies. Perfect uniformity creates stagnation, not stability. Sona's expression reflected surprise followed by thoughtful reconsideration. She references harmonic theory predating current cosmic epoch. Theoretical models supporting inclusion of controlled dissonance within larger harmonic frameworks. The ECTS communicated through complex mathematical exchanges before the central representative responded. Historical precedent verified. Demonic harmonic contribution acknowledged in original symphony construction. The being's tone shifted subtly. However, previous cooperation ended with significant discord. Ancient history, Kasai dismissed with regal indifference. Current circumstances demand setting aside outdated factionalism. The final discordance threatens all reality frameworks equally, celestial, mortal, and demonic alike. Goku, observing this exchange with enhanced perception, recognized authentic concern beneath Kasai's imperious manner. Despite her demonic nature and complicated agenda, she genuinely feared the cosmic threat facing them. This realization guided his next words. I think she should come. He stated simply. More perspectives might give us better chances of success. His straightforward acceptance momentarily surprised everyone, Kasai included. The demonic princess recovered quickly. Satisfaction briefly visible before royal composure reasserted. A wise decision, she acknowledged with slight bow that somehow managed to seem both respectful and condescending simultaneously. Cosmic balance requires all fundamental energies in proper proportion, celestial precision, mortal passion, and demonic creativity. The architects processed this development with geometric calculations before conceding. Modified harmonic attunement will accommodate additional participant. Preparation will commence immediately. Sona approached Goku and his companions, her vehement creating subtle musical patterns in the air around them. I will guide the attunement process. Each participant requires adjustment to survive proximity to the convergence point while maintaining individual essence. What exactly does attunement involve? Solera asked, practical concerns foremost. Harmonizing your fundamental frequency with the convergence entity's unique resonance, Sona explained, gesturing toward Goku. Not merging or altering your essential nature, but establishing compatible vibrational patterns that permit existence within spaces normally inaccessible to conventional beings. Essentially creating quantum entanglement at consciousness level, Mira translated with scientific precision. A poetic interpretation but functionally accurate, Sona agreed with musical appreciation. While this explanation proceeded, the architects had begun reconfiguring local reality, transforming the humble forest clearing into something transcending conventional space. Trees, earth, and sky remained visible but now appeared as mere surface features overlaying more fundamental patterns, sacred geometry and mathematical constants forming existence's true architecture. At the clearing's center formed a perfect circle composed of what appeared to be crystallized sound waves, harmonic patterns made visible and tangible. Within this circle, 7 smaller formations appeared, arranged in precise geometric relation to each other. The attunement chamber is prepared, Sona announced, gesturing for them to enter. Each must occupy the position corresponding to their fundamental nature. As they approached, the central formation automatically adjusted its pattern to match Goku's unique energy signature, neither purely mortal nor completely celestial but something transcending both classifications. The surrounding formations similarly calibrated themselves to their intended occupants, celestial patterns for Araya, Saiyan warrior resonance for Solera, empirical precision for Mira. Restructured void harmonies for Harmony, and controlled dissonance for Kasai. The final formation, positioned directly across from Goku, adjusted itself to Sona's unique musical frequency. "You're coming with us?" Goku asked, surprised by this development. "The restoration of primordial symphony patterns requires a trained conductor," Sona explained, musical undertones suggesting both professional necessity and personal interest. "My presence serves practical function rather than mere observation." As each took their designated position, the crystallized sound patterns beneath them began resonating with increasing intensity. Visible energy currents flowed between formations, establishing connections that operated at levels more fundamental than conventional physics. Sona raised her hands in conductor's gesture, her entire form briefly transforming into pure harmonic visualization, living music given temporary physical representation. The attunement begins. Each participant will experience subjective reality unique to their nature as harmonization progresses. Resist neither the process nor the revelations it brings. With graceful precision, she initiated the procedure. The crystallized sound patterns beneath them activated fully, enveloping each participant in energy fields calibrated to their specific frequency. These fields began synchronizing with Goku's unique resonance, establishing connections that transcended physical proximity. For Goku, the experience manifested as expanded awareness beyond anything previously achieved. His perception extended beyond conventional dimensions, sensing not merely the immediate environment but the complex harmonic patterns underlying all existence. Reality revealed itself not as solid matter but as music given form, infinite. Variations on fundamental themes combining to create the cosmic symphony. Each companion experienced the attunement differently, their subjective realities reflecting individual nature and relationship to the convergence energy. Araya found herself simultaneously experiencing her celestial nature and something new, emotional currents normally suppressed by angelic discipline flowing freely through her consciousness. The rigid separation between observation and participation dissolved, allowing her to experience reality as integrated participant rather than detached observer. Solera's warrior consciousness expanded beyond tactical assessment to perceive the beauty in conflict itself, the harmony underlying apparent chaos, the perfect balance between opposing forces that created dynamic equilibrium rather than static perfection. Saiyan battle instinct transformed from simple aggression to appreciation of combat as cosmic dance. Mira's scientific perception transcended empirical observation. To experience the mathematical poetry underlying reality's structure, equations not as abstract representations but as living expressions of existence's fundamental nature. Her analytical mind expanded to incorporate intuitive understanding alongside logical assessment. Harmony, already transformed from chaotic void predator to structured entity, experienced further evolution, individual consciousness. expanding to perceive its connection to larger harmonic patterns extending beyond dimensional boundaries. Its crystalline structure vibrated with resonant frequencies that mapped the transition from discord to harmony at cosmic scale. Most profound was Kasai's experience. The demonic princess, accustomed to existing in controlled opposition to celestial order, found herself perceiving how dissonance served essential function within larger harmonic frameworks. Her inherent nature, creative chaos challenging rigid structure, revealed itself not as corruption but as necessary counterbalance preventing stagnation. Throughout this process, Sona conducted the harmonization with perfect precision, her own consciousness serving as bridging mechanism between disparate frequencies. Her galaxy eyes perceived not just physical forms but the unique melody each soul contributed to existence's greater symphony. As the attunement approached completion, the boundaries between individual consciousness became increasingly permeable. Each participant maintained distinct identity while simultaneously experiencing connection transcending conventional relationship. Thoughts, emotions, and memories flow between them not as invasive intrusion but as natural harmonic resonance, 7 distinct instruments finding perfect complementary expression. Within this shared awareness, personal connections deep and beyond professional alliance or circumstance. The feelings each companion harbored toward Goku, previously contained within individual experience, became mutually perceived, creating momentary AWKW. Ardness followed by unexpected acceptance. Solera's warrior admiration mixed with growing personal attraction, Urea's celestial curiosity evolved into emotional investment defying angelic convention. Myra's scientific interest transformed into appreciation transcending empirical assessment, and even Kasai's complicated motivations revealed authentic connection beneath strategic calculation. Most surprising was Sona's emerging harmonic resonance with Goku's unique frequency, recognition of complementary patterns that completed each other's expression. Rather than creating conflict, this mutual awareness fostered understanding. Each recognized how their unique perspective contributed essential elements to the collective harmony without requiring exclusivity or competition. Their connection to Goku, and increasingly to each other, operated beyond conventional relationship frameworks, just as his existence transcended traditional classifications. The attunement reached completion with perfect harmonic convergence, 7 distinct frequencies synchronized while maintaining individual expression. The crystallized sound patterns beneath them stabilized into permanent configuration, stability. In connections that would persist beyond the immediate procedure. Sona lowered her hands, resuming primarily humanoid form though subtle musical patterns remained visible within her opalescent skin. The harmonic attunement is complete. Each participant now resonates at frequency permitting existence within the convergence point while maintaining individual nature. The architects, who had observed this process with mathematical assessment, confirmed successful outcome through geometric pattern exchange. The central representative approached, form shifting between representations as it addressed them. Preparation phase concluded successfully. Transportation to convergence point will commence immediately. Final objective parameters: neutralize discordance entities and restore primordial symphony patterns. How exactly do we accomplish that once we arrive? Goku asked, characteristic practical focus reasserting despite the cosmic scale implications. The symphony must be reconducted, Sona explained, creating visual representation through synchronized sound-light patterns. The final discordance consumes harmonic patterns, creating expanding dissonance that unravels reality's coherence. Countering this requires establishing new harmonic foundation that incorporates rather than opposes discordant elements. Integration rather than elimination, Goku translated, understanding immediately. Like what happened with harmony, transforming rather than destroying. Precisely, Sona confirmed with pleased musical tones. Your unique perspective, simultaneously mortal and celestial, Lo's perception of patterns invisible to conventional beings. You instinctively seek harmony rather than dominance. Which is why mere power proves insufficient, Urea added, celestial understanding enhanced by recent attunement. The discordance cannot be defeated through conventional opposition, force against force simply creates additional dissonance. So we need to, what? Play cosmic music, see that makes them want to cooperate rather than consume everything. Solera asked, her practical warrior's mind struggling with abstract concepts despite enhanced awareness. A simplified but essentially accurate analogy, Mira confirmed. Her scientific precision translating cosmic principles into practical application. Theoretical models suggest consciousness capable of perceiving and manipulating fundamental frequencies could potentially establish new harmonic patterns incorporating dissonant elements within larger structured framework, bringing them into the band instead of trying to silence them. Goku simplified with characteristic directness. Your metaphors continue providing unexpected clarity, Kasai noted with genuine appreciation beneath sardonic delivery. Perhaps mortal sim. PLI City offers advantages celestial precision overlooks. The architects completed final calculations before the central representative announced, transportation sequence initiating. Destination: Grand Harmonic Convergence. Temporal displacement: minimal. Probability assessment: uncertain. That final admission, cosmic architects acknowledging uncertainty, revealed the unprecedented nature of their mission more clearly than any elaborate explanation. These beings who calculated existence's fundamental parameters could not predict the outcome of what they attempted. Reality around them began configuring at levels more fundamental than conventional dimensional transition. Unlike previous experiences of traveling between realms, this transportation involved shifting to spaces that existed before conventional dimensions formed, the primordial framework from which reality itself emerged. The sensation transcended description in mortal terms. Each participant experienced it uniquely through the lens of their individual consciousness, yet the shared harmonic connection established during attunement allowed collective awareness of the transition's profound nature. They moved not through reality but beneath it, traversing patterns predating existence's current configuration. When perception stabilized, they found themselves in a realm defying conventional description. The space around Hem appeared simultaneously vast beyond comprehension and intimately immediate, infinite scope experienced with perfect clarity rather than overwhelming scale. Instead of physical landmarks, their surroundings consisted of interwoven harmonic patterns visible as geometric formations composed of pure energy constantly flowing and reconfiguring while maintaining fundamental structure. At the center of this impossible space stood a formation resembling crystallized music made tangible, the primordial symphony in physical form. Unlike the smaller harmonic patterns they'd encountered previously, this structure contained infinite complexity while maintaining perfect cohesive expression. Every possible frequency existed within its patterns, from celestial perfection to mortal passion to demonic creativity. All integrated within comprehensive harmonic framework. The Grand Harmonic Convergence, Sona whispered, her voice carrying reverent musical undertones. Source point of all dimensional frequencies. The symphony from which reality emerges. Even with their enhanced perception, the sight inspired momentary silence as each processed its profound significance. This wasn't merely another ray, LM or dimension but the foundation preceding all conventional existence, the pattern from which universes themselves emerged. Their appreciation ended abruptly as they perceived disturbances within this perfect harmony. Throughout the crystallized symphony structure appeared fracture patterns resembling cracks in glass, except these disruptions existed in frequency rather than physical space. Through these harmonic breaches flowed something resembling anti-music, and versions of sound that consumed harmonic patterns rather than contributing to them. The final discordance, Araya identified, her celestial perception recognizing fundamental threat. They're consuming the symphony itself. As if responding to acknowledgement, the dissonant entities became more distinct. Unlike conventional adversaries with physical form, these manifested as violations of harmonic law, patterns that shouldn't exist within ordered reality. Their bodies resembled three-dimensional sound cancellation waves that negated whatever harmonic structures they contacted, leaving empty frequency voids in their wake. Open black lens bracket harmonic analysis complete close black lens bracket. Harmony communicated, its crystalline structure vibrating with assessment calculations. Open black lens bracket discordance entities currently 78.4% liberated from original constraints. Complete manifestation estimated within 3.7 harmonic cycles. Close black lens bracket. Less than we anticipated, Mira noted with scientific precision disguising genuine concern. Consumption rate accelerating beyond projected models. Goku observed the dissonant entities with his unique perception, simultaneously mortal and celestial. capable of seeing beyond conventional categories. What others perceived as abstract threat, he recognized as something both simpler and more profound. They're hungry, he stated with intuitive understanding. Not evil or malevolent, just consuming the only food they understand. They don't recognize what they're destroying. This perspective shift created momentary pause among his companions. Ona's galaxy eyes widened with surprise followed by thoughtful reconsideration. You perceive their fundamental nature rather than merely their effects. Fascinating interpretation suggesting possibility beyond containment or opposition. If they're simply following their nature rather than exercising malevolent choice, transformation becomes theoretically viable alternative to elimination, Mira agreed. Scientific mind immediately calculating implications. Similar to void harvester restructuring but at fundamental frequency level rather than energy pattern. That's all fascinating theory, Solera interjected with warrior's pragmatism, but they're still consuming the foundation of all reality. How exactly do we transform entities that exist specifically to negate harmony? By offering something they've never encountered. Goku replied with growing conviction. A harmonic pattern that incorporates dissonance rather than opposing it. As they discussed strategy, the discordance entities became aware of their presence. The dissonant patterns shifted focus, converging toward the newcomers with predatory intent. Unlike conventional hostility, this approach manifested as harmonic negation waves expanding in their direction, anti-music designed to cancel their frequency signatures and consume the resulting void. They perceive us as potential sustenance, Kasai observed with royal composure masking genuine concern. Particularly you, convergence entity. Your unique harmonic signature represents unprecedented energy density from their perspective. Defensive measures required immediately, Aurea stated. Her staff materializing and tracing complex patterns that established localized harmonic reinforcement. Conventional opposition will prove ineffective but may delay consumption temporarily. Each companion contributed to their collective defense using their unique abilities enhanced by harmonic attunement. Solera channeled her Saiyan combat energy into structured patterns that reinforced reality's integrity around them. Mira activated devices integrated into her uniform that generated counter-frequency fields designed to neutralize dissonant approaches. Kasai create controlled dissonance barriers that confused the entities' targeting capabilities. Harmony's crystalline structure vibrated at precisely calculated frequencies that established temporary stability within their immediate vicinity. Sona moved to Goku's side, her form partially transforming into visual sound patterns as she conducted defensive harmonies. These measures provide temporary protection only. True resolution requires fundamental reconfiguration of the symphony itself. How do we do that? Goku asked, watching the dissonant entities testing their defensive perimeter with increasing coordination. The convergence point contains the original template, the fundamental pattern from which all reality emerges, Sona explained, gesturing toward the crystallized symphony at the realm's center. Accessing this template requires consciousness capable of perceiving all frequency levels simultaneously while maintaining coherent intent. You mean me, Goku realized, his enhanced percepti on already mapping the complex harmonic structures surrounding them. Your unique integration of mortal and celestial energies creates unprecedented perceptual capacity, Sona confirmed. However, accessing the template requires more than observation. You must become the conducting principle itself, temporarily assuming function as symphony nexus. The implications were clear even without detailed explanation. Goku would need to connect with existence's fundamental pattern at level beyond individual identity, essentially becoming the symphony itself long enough to establish new harmonic framework. What happens to him during this process? Solera demanded, protective concern evident beneath tactical assessment. Temporary consciousness expansion beyond conventional parameters, Mira answered. Scientific precision providing framework for incomprehensible concept. Theoretical models suggest identity retention possible but not guaranteed. You're saying he might lose himself, Kasai translated bluntly. Consciousness dispersed across fundamental patterns without personal cohesion. A significant risk, Sona acknowledged with musical tones suggesting genuine concern beyond professional assessment. No being has attempted direct symphony integration since original creation events. Outcomes remain theoretical rather than empirically established. Goku absorbed these warnings with characteristic determination. If it's the only way to stop these entities from consuming everything, the risk doesn't matter. It matters to us, Araya stated with unprecedented emotional directness for a celestial being. The harmonic attunement had clearly affected her typical angelic reserve, allowing genuine feelings to surface. Open black lens bracket alternative approach calculation complete close black lens bracket, harmony communicated suddenly. Its crystalline structure pulsing with increased luminosity. Open black lens bracket distributed consciousness network potentially viable. Harmonic connection established during attunement permits load distributio. N across multiple participants rather than singular integration. Close black lens bracket. Harmony suggests consciousness networking, Mira translated, scientific understanding immediately recognizing implications. Essentia. LLY allowing all participants to share symphony integration rather than placing entire burden on convergence entity alone. Is that possible? Goku asked Sona directly. The celestial musician considered this possibility. Her galaxy eyes tracking complex calculations through harmonic visualization. Unprecedented but theoretically viable, the attunement established quantum entanglement at consciousness level, creating pathways that could potentially distribute integration load across multiple participants. Similar to parallel processing in computational systems, Mira added, but utilizing consciousness harmonics rather than digital architecture. The risk remains significant, Sona cautioned, but distributed across multiple participants rather than concentrated in one. Around them, air defensive measures showed increasing strain against the discordance entity's persistent assault. Fracture patterns extended through their harmonic barriers, dissonant frequencies beginning to penetrate their protected space. Whatever we're doing, it needs to happen now, Solera urged, reinforcing weakening barriers with her energy. Goku looked at each of his companions, celestial, Saiyan, scientist, restructured void entity, demonic royalty, and cosmic musician. The connection between them transcended conventional alliance, each contributing essential perspective to their collective harmony. The decision formed with characteristic clarity. We do this together, he stated simply. Harmony is right. Connection makes us stronger than separation. Without further discussion, he extended his hands toward his companions, initiating the connection through physical contact that would serve as anchor for more profound consciousness linking. Each responded immediately, Araya and Sona to his right, Solera and Mira to his left. Kasai and Harmony completing the circle. As connection established, Sona began conducting the process with precise musical gestures that transcended physical movement to direct harmonic flow. Each participant must maintain individual frequency while allowing consciousness boundaries to become permeable. Maintain your unique perspective. Diversity within unity creates true harmonic strength. The connection deepened beyond physical proximity, consciousness boundaries becoming increasingly permeable while maintaining distinct individual expression. Their previously established harmonic attunement served as foundation for this deeper integration, allowing 7 distinct perspectives to function as unified awareness without losing essential individuality. Through this collective consciousness, Goku initiated approach toward the symphony template at the convergence point's center. Rather than moving physically through space, they traversed harmonic patterns that composed reality's fundamental architecture. Each step aligned their collective frequency more precisely with the symphony's original expression, allowing progressive integration without identity dissolution. The discordance entities sensed this approach immediately, converging with increased urgency toward what they perceived as unprecedented energy source. Their dissonant patterns intensified, anti-music waves attempting to disrupt the consciousness network before it could achieve full symphony integration. Through their collective perception, a solution emerged that no individual could have conceived alone. Rather than opposing the dissonant entities directly or attempting to exclude them from the symphony, they extended their consciousness network to include the discordance itself, perceiving its fundamental pattern not as corruption but as essential counterpoint within larger harmonic framework. This revolutionary approach, simultaneously perceiving harmony and discord as complementary rather than oppositional, created momentary pause in the dissonant entities' advance. For the first time in their existence, they encountered consciousness capable of incorporating their nature without attempting to negate it. Reaching the symphony template, their collective consciousness established connection at fundamental level. Through Goku's unique integration of mortal and celestial perception, enhanced by his companions' diverse perspectives, they accessed the original pattern from which all reality emerged. Not as separate observers but as participating conductors, they perceived how every frequency, from perfect celestial harmony to chaotic demonic creativity to passionate mortal expression, contributed essential elements to existence's full manifestation. With Sona's guidance, they began reconducting the symphony, not by imposing rigid order but by establishing new harmonic framework that incorporated all frequencies in balanced relationship. The crystallized symphony responded, its structure healing fracture patterns not by excluding dissonance but by providing context that transformed consumption into contribution. The discordance entities, initially resistant, found themselves responding to patterns they'd never before encountered, harmony that incorporated their dissonant nature without attempting to negate it. Their anti-music gradually transformed, not losing fundamental character but finding expression within larger symphonic structure rather than opposing it. This transformation spread throughout the convergence point, harmonic patterns previously why disrupted finding new coherence that maintained diversity while establishing sustainable relationship. The symphony itself evolved, not returning to previous configuration but emerging as something both ancient and new, the original template enhanced rather than merely restored. As this cosmic reconfiguration approached completion, their collective consciousness began natural dissolution, individual awareness reasserting distinct identity while maintaining harmonic connection. The experience had transformed each participant, not by erasing unique nature but by enhancing understanding of their essential contribution to larger harmony. Goku, at the network's center, experienced this transition most profoundly. His consciousness, temporarily expanded beyond conventional parameters to conduct symphony reconfiguration, gradually recompressed into individual identity. But this return brought enhanced awareness rather than limitation, perception permanently altered by direct connection with existence's fundamental pattern. As individual awareness fully re-established, they found themselves once more in recognizable form at the convergence point. But the realm itself had transformed significantly. Where dissonant fractures had previously disrupted harmonic patterns, new structures now integrated diverse frequencies in sustainable relationship. The former discordance entities, rather than consuming harmonic patterns, now participated in maintaining them, their dissonant nature providing essential counterpoint within larger symphonic expression. It worked, Sona whispered, galaxy eyes wide with wonder as she observed the transformed symphony, not merely restored but evolved. A new harmonic framework incorporating all frequencies in balanced relationship. Open black lens bracket analysis confirms fundamental restructuring at pattern level. Close black lens bracket. Harmony communicated, its crystalline form vibrating with assessment calculations. Open black lens bracket discordance entities successfully integrated within symphonic expression. CONSUMPTION behavior replaced with participatory function. Close black lens bracket. Transformation rather than elimination, Aurea observed with celestial precision enhanced by newfound emotional depth. Angel methodology TRA. Additionally seeks perfect order through exclusion of discord. This approach suggests alternative cosmic philosophy with significant implications. The scientific applications are unprecedented, Mira added. Analytical mind cataloging observations while her expression revealed deeper appreciation beyond empirical assessment. Fundamental pattern transformation affects all derivative systems throughout multiversal framework. Solera, characteristically practical, focused on immediate outcomes. So the threat is neutralized. Reality isn't going to unravel anymore. More than neutralized, integrated, Kasai clarified. Royal bearing enhanced rather than diminished by recent experiences. The symphony now incorporates frequencies previously excluded from cosmic framework. More complete expression rather than merely restored balance. Quote, as they discussed these profound implications, the space around them reconfigured once more. The architects manifested within the convergence point, their forms, more geometric than humanoid in this fundamental realm, mathematical perfection given temporary representation. Unexpected outcome, the central architect communicated, calculations visibly processing through its structure. Probability models indicated 3 potential resolutions: restoration of original patterns, failed intervention resulting in accelerated consumption, or partial stabilization requiring ongoing maintenance. Yet we achieved something else entirely, Sona noted with musical appreciation. Evolution rather than restoration, integration rather than opposition, unprecedented. approach yielding unprecedented result, the architect acknowledged. The symphony has been fundamentally reconfigured at pattern level. Implications extend throughout all derivative reality frameworks. Is that a good thing? Goku asked directly, his enhanced perception allowing him to sense the complex calculations behind the architect's seemingly simple statement. The geometric being shift D through several representational states before responding. Evaluation parameters insufficient for binary classification. The symphony's evolution introduces variables previously unaccounted for in cosmic architecture. He's asking if we helped or made things worse, Solera translated with characteristic directness. I believe we know the answer to that, Kasai interjected, gesturing toward the transformed symphony and the former discordance entities now participating in its maintenance. Cosmic destruction averted, existence continuing with enhanced rather than diminished expression. By any reasonable standard, success rather than failure. The fundamental question remains unresolved, Araya noted with celestial perspective. The separation between mortal and celestial frameworks, was it artificial constraint or necessary boundary? Today's events suggest integration possible where separation previously considered absolute. This philosophical question hung unanswered as the architects completed their assessment. The central representative approached Goku directly, its form shifting toward humanoid representation perhaps in recognition of the communication's personal nature. NVERGENCE entity, Goku of Earth, your unique integration of mortal and celestial energies created both crisis and resolution. The Council of Cosmic Architects acknowledges completion of responsibility cycle. So what happens now? Goku asked, characteristic directness unchanged despite cosmic scale experiences. Do I go back to being regular Goku, or regression to previous state impossible? The architect stated. Your evolution represents irreversible progression beyond conventional classification parameters. Neither fully mortal nor completely celestial but something unprecedented. The first true bridge between realms. Sona explained, musical tones suggesting both professional assessment and personal appreciation. Ancient texts referenced such possibility, consciousness capable of functioning across multiple reality frameworks simultaneously without losing cohesive identity. And is that allowed? Goku asked, his simple question containing profound implications regarding cosmic governance and established boundaries. The architects communicated through complex mathematical patterns before the central representative responded. Existing protocols insufficient for unprecedented classification. New frameworks required for proper integration within cosmic governance structure. They're saying they don't have rules for what you've become, Kasai translated with sardonic amusement. Bureaucracy struggling to categorize evolution it never anticipated. Interim determination established, the architect continued. The convergence entity may continue existence within more tall framework while maintaining celestial integration. Observation protocols remain active but non-interventional. Meaning you can return to Earth and live as you choose, but they'll be watching to see what happens next, Mira explained. Scientific precision providing clarity to cosmic diplomatic language. And us? Solera asked directly. We've been changed by this too. Our connection to him, to each other, to the symphony itself. None of that can be undone. Harmonic attunement created permanent resonance patterns between participants, the architect confirmed. Separation possible but NECTION remains regardless of physical proximity. Classification. Quantum entanglement at consciousness level. This confirmation brought momentary silence as each participant contemplated its implications. The connection established between them transcended conventional relationship, neither purely professional nor simply personal, but something fundamentally deeper operating at consciousness level beyond typical categorization. Goku, characteristically focused on practical concerns rather than cosmic implications, asked the question foremost in his mind. So we can all go back to Earth now. My friends must be worried about us. Transportation to original coordinates authorized, the architect confirmed. Temporal displacement minimal due to differential flow between convergence point and conventional reality frameworks. Before departure, there remains one matter requiring address, Sona interjected, her musical tones carrying formal significance. The symphony's reconfiguration established new harmonic patterns requiring ongoing maintenance. While fundamental stability has been achieved, periodic retuning remains necessary to ensure proper integration of previously discordant elements. Meaning what exactly? Solera asked, tactical mind immediately assessing responsibility implications. A conductor must periodically access the symphony template to maintain proper harmonic relationship, Sona explained. Not constant oversight but regular attunement ensuring continued integration rather than gradual separation. All eyes turned to Goku, the obvious candidate for this cosmic responsibility given his unique nature as bridge between realms. He considered this additional obligation thoughtfully before responding with characteristic directness. I'll do what's needed to keep things stable. But Earth remains my home and primary responsibility. If being this bridge means helping maintain cosmic harmony while still protecting my friends and family, I can handle both. Sona's galaxy eyes reflected complex calculations before she offered alternative perspective. Perhaps responsibility distribution proves more effective than singular burden. The consciousness network, established during symphony reconfiguration, demonstrates viability of collective approach rather than individual assignment. You're suggesting we all share responsibility for maintenance rather than placing it solely on him. Araya translated, celestial precision enhanced by newfound understanding of collective harmony. Practical implementation would require periodic gathering of all participants, Mira noted. Scientific mind immediately calculating logistics. Differential responsibilities based on individual frequency contribution to overall harmonic pattern. A cosmic maintenance committee. Kasai summarized with royal amusement masking genuine interest. Certainly unprecedented in multiversal governance. I find myself intrigued by continued participation despite traditional demonic aversion to celestial bureaucracy. Open black lens bracket. This unit volunteers primary monitoring function. Close black lens bracket. Harmony offered, its crystalline structure uniquely suited for detecting harmonic fluctuations. Open black lens bracket restructured. Existence purpose includes symphony maintenance as logical extension of previous transformation. Close black lens bracket. The architects observed this spontaneous organization with what might have been surprise had mathematical entities expressed conventional emotions. The central representative's form shifted through several calculations before responding. Distributed responsibility model unprecedented but theoretically viable. Cosmic governance protocols will require significant revision to accommodate cross-classification cooperation. They always need time to adjust to new ideas, Sona noted with musical amusement. Celestial bureaucracy moves at its own pace, but eventually adapts to reality's evolution rather than imposing rigid frameworks upon it. With primary concerns addressed and new responsibilities established, preparations for return to conventional reality commenced. The architects initiated transportation sequence that would return them to Earth while maintaining their newfound connections and abilities. Unlike their journey to the convergence point, this transition would follow established pathways rather than traversing pre-dimensional spaces. As reality began reconfiguring around them, Goku looked at his companions with genuine appreciation transcending conventional gratitude. Each had contributed essential perspective to their collective success, and each remained connected to high through bonds operating at consciousness level beyond typical relationship. Thank you, he said simply, characteristic directness perfectly expressing complex sentiment. I couldn't have done this alone. Nor were you meant to. Sona replied, musical tones carrying deeper meaning beneath surface words. The symphony itself demonstrates how diverse frequencies create harmony more complete than any single note could achieve alone. With this profound truth acknowledged, transportation completed. Reality stabilized around them, revealing familiar surroundings of Mount Paozu where their journey had begun. According to Myra's calculations, barely 12 hours had passed in Earth time despite their cosmic scale adventure. The forest clearing appeared unchanged, morning sunlight filtering alpine branches with ordinary beauty that somehow appeared more vibrant through their enhanced perception. Birds sang with natural harmony that now revealed itself as microscopic reflection of the greater symphony underlying all existence. We're back, Goku confirmed unnecessarily but with evident satisfaction. And everything feels different. More connected somehow. Perception permanently altered by direct symphony contact. Mira explained, scientific precision providing framework for subjective experience. Reality fundamentally unchanged but our ability to perceive its underlying patterns significantly enhanced. So what happens now? Solera asked, practical concerns reasserting despite cosmic experiences. Now life continues, Goku replied with characteristic simplicity. I still need to train, protect my friends, be a father to Gohan. Just with new understanding and responsibilities added to the mix. And us? Kasai inquired, demonic royal dignity momentarily revealing genuine uncertainty beneath calculated composure. Our connection remains regardless of physical proximity, but practical arrangements require discussion. The question addressed practical logistics while implying deeper inquiry regarding their unusual relationship. The harmonic attunement and shared symphony experience had created connections transcending conventional categories, neither purely professional nor simply personal but something unprecedented operating at consciousness level. Earth remains my home, Goku stated simply. You're all welcome to stay if you want. There's plenty of room on the mountain. And I could use help understanding these new abilities. Celestial protocols permit extended observation assignment given unprecedented nature of convergence entity development, Araya noted. Formal justification transparently overlaying personal preference. The Sadala Defense Force benefits from continued monitoring of interdimensional phenomena, Solera added with similar professional framing of deeper motivation. Extended field research provides optimal conditions for comprehensive documentation of evolution beyond conventional classification parameters, Mira contributed. Scientific rationale similarly serving as framework for more personal commitment. Demonic diplomatic presence on Earth long overdue given increasing interdimensional activity centered on this previously unremarkable planet. Kasai declared with royal authority masking genuine desire for continued association. Sona, observing these transparent justifications with musical amusement, offered her own perspective. The symphony's reconfiguration requires periodic maintenance by consciousness network established during harmonic convergence. Proximity facilitates more efficient coordination of responsibility distribution. Harmony pulsed with steady blue-white luminosity. Open black lens bracket. This unit's restructured existence purpose includes supporting harmonic integration and symphony maintenance. Continued proximity logical and necessary. Close black lens bracket. Their unanimous decision to remain brought Goku's characteristic smile, genuine appreciation unmarred by complex calculation or hidden agenda. Despite cosmic scale experiences and unprecedented evolution beyond conventional classification, his essential nature remained unchanged. Open-hearted, direct, and genuinely committed to protecting what he valued. Great. First thing tomorrow, I'll introduce you to everyone. Bulma's going to have about 1 million questions, Chi-Chi might need some time to adjust to having new people around, and I can't wait to show Gohan what we've learned. This ordinary response to extraordinary circumstances perfectly exemplified what made Goku unique, his ability to integrate cosmic scale awareness with simple human connection without diminishing either. This fundamental quality had allowed him to access Angel Ki, transform the symphony itself, and establish new possibilities for existence beyond traditional boundaries. As morning sunlight strengthened around them, highlighting both familiar earthly beauty and newly perceived harmonic patterns underlying it, they stood together at the beginning of something unprecedented. Either conventional family nor traditional alliance but something transcending established categories. Diverse perspectives united through harmonic resonance while maintaining essential individuality. The convergence had begun, not merely of mortal and celestial energies within one being, but of diverse consciousness across multiple reality frameworks. Through their connection with each other and the reconfigured symphony itself, new possibilities emerged for evolution beyond artificial constraints. Goku stretched with characteristic enthusiasm, simultaneously ordinary Saiyan warrior and unprecedented cosmic bridge. Anyone else hungry? Chi-Chi probably has breakfast waiting, and there's nothing in any universe better than her cooking. This seamless integration of cosmic responsibility and simple human pleasure perfectly demonstrated why he had become the first successful convergence entity. His unique ability to value both universal harmony and individual connection, to perceive cosmic patterns without losing appreciation for immediate experience, allowed him to bridge realms previously separated. As they followed him toward the small house visible through the trees, each companion recognized how their individual journey had become part of something larger, a harmony composed of diverse perspectives united not through uniformity but through complementary expression. The symphony continued throughout infinite dimensions, its reconfigured patterns establishing new possibilities for existence itself. And at its center, walking with characteristic bounce in his step toward breakfast with his family. Moved the unlikeliest of cosmic catalysts, a Saiyan warrior from Earth who had accidentally discovered Angel Key and consequently transformed the fundamental architecture of reality itself. The story had only begun. Blank, _ blank. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.